Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. This time we have a match in the Skyward Sword Any Percent tournament of winner bracket round 2 between Kitcot and Floha258. Commentator for this match will be Pepernicus. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. See how this will go. Seems like everyone is ready to go. Let's see if Kitcot is going for the optimal name or not. Floha seems to go for it. So if you have one character as a name, you save a few frames every time the name is mentioned, because this game actually has no quick text. So it takes time for a name to just get displayed, and the shorter the name, the faster. But it doesn't really matter. We often see different names because, like, these few frames. I mean, it's good to save them, but you never know. So in general about this run, there's going to be one big trick you're going to see very often, which can be used in very different ways, very special, very complicated. We'll get into it when it comes up, a little bit earlier probably. And also probably important to say that in this game there's like a stamina bar, so it's super important to use the moments to refill that stamina in order to always run at full speed. So the fastest way of movement is rolling. It's like a frame faster than running. And so it costs a big amount of stamina, as you can see there. But if we can refill it, we will always try to roll into the next refill. So yeah, so you see the runners both talking to Fletch, so they are both going for the newest route, which saves about 20 seconds. We'll need Fletch for, so this talk is technically not required, but for the route we're doing, it's going to be required. Because you actually need, we actually need like setup files, so we will set up a file that has like a flag where we talk to Fletch, and this flag is going to be helpful. He knows how to get to the behind the temple later. So first of all, a little bit of tutorial. I'm gonna see stamina management be really important. So if we have like 1/4 of the stamina, then we'll try, we will always try to refill to 1/4 because it refills faster than that little amount. So you'll see almost depleting and then refilling like to 1/4. And there you can see also rolling with losing stamina. And that way you get the most out of your stamina, basically. Yeah, so cutscenes, talking to statues, and rolling into fruits and stuff, all reset that. So we'll try to use that as often as we can. And there's also something you might notice. After he, for example, rolls into a fruit without any, without a bar, or like any time he loses the stamina bar completely, and he gets the first frame roll after he's finished, it will turn red. So it's also showing that it did good. Right here, as I said, we're gonna do a bunch. We're gonna need a bunch of setups for this, because we actually use the file screen in this game, and we'll see how right now. So both players are going to die now, and actually, okay, Kitcot seems to do something a little different, but Floha is gonna die right now, so gonna take on his side. So you'll try to, when you die, you can. Oh yeah, you're just getting the. Okay, guess he maybe forgot it. Whatever. So he's gonna die right here, and you won't see it, but he will press the reset button on his Wii after pressing continue on the game over screen, and that way. Oh, I think he goes for the cutscene skip. Oh, okay, now I understand what he's going on. Okay. So yeah, after you see the go almost on, you will press continue, and then yeah, you can actually see that apparently a Wii U didn't know that. So there you can see press the reset button, and that way Link will the game wants to respawn Link because we press continue. The game also resets, so we're back on the title screen. So the game spawns Link on the title screen. So basically, with this we can navigate with Link. And the big part about it is you might know this trick. It's called back in time from other games. Other games normally don't really use it. It's not that useful in other games. But in this game, it's extremely useful, and it is because we actually have access to the file screen. So normally, the other games, when you do back in time and go off the splash screen, you'll end up in a new window and you cannot move Link or anything. You lose complete control. But in this game, the file screen is on the same map, so you can actually run around and do stuff. So that way we can use our flags on our files. So that's why we need specific files on each of these 3 files. So we basically have nothing prepared, but we want to set up that while playing to get the most efficient out of flags. So what we need these flags for that we are set upping. So we can, while we're playing in back in time, we can select a file and activate those flags by doing something on the map, so the game reads the memory of that file. And with that we can like let things happen, like gates open or other things. Or for example, what Floha just did earlier, you can see this, his third file has like, it's like weird glitchy and has like 1 heart. It actually is a corrupt file, so we basically deleted a file and saved over while it was deleting, and it basically saved a file with nothing on it, so it's completely blank. And so also the health is blank, which is very useful if we want to, because to activate back in time we have to die, so having a file that can die all the time is useful. But it's sadly not as fast as dying while playing, because you have to go back to the title screen and stuff. So if we can, we'll try to not use it. So Flow right now is doing the safe route, which needs the corrupt file, because right after the Kitcot is right now doing the Loftwing tutorial, and right after the Loftwing tutorial there's a cutscene that plays, and that cutscene can actually be skipped by you have a 2-frame window to jump out of it with a side hop after the cutscene. But if you don't get it, you lose like a lot of time. So normally in a race setting, you often see the safe route being played. Floha does, and in that route you just start a corrupt file, and that way you can just skip the cutscene skip, so you don't have to do it. It's the skip. But the cutscene skip with the 2-frame window is about 30 seconds faster. So if Kitcot can pull it off, he is about he'll gain an extra amount of 30 seconds. But if you don't get it, he will lose probably about 3 minutes. He probably has to reset. So we'll see where he last saved. But probably about maybe a little less, but it could be 3 minutes time loss if you don't get that. So we'll see. But now the tutorial, you'll try to go through the text and do what Zelda says as fast as possible, and then nothing else really. There's nothing to push the time forward. So let's see if he gets the cutscene skip. So no, he didn't make a corrupt file. At least I didn't catch it. He didn't even start back in time yet, so I'm pretty sure he is doing the side up right here. And he didn't get it. So he saved. I think it's actually harder to do it off starting a file. So let's see if he can get it. Oh, he has. Oh, right. He made a. Oh, okay, so I understand what he's doing. Okay, so he made a file earlier. I was confused about that. So he can like die somewhere else. So right now he couldn't get the cutscene skip. Well, he just died right now. That's fine. He's probably yeah, this is a good setup, but he's probably lost about like 10 seconds, 15 seconds overall by failing that cutscene skip probably with this. Maybe more. So actually losing time from that, so Floha can catch up a little bit. But Floha also has to do another extra back in time. Because, as I was talking about flags, there's also, funny enough, there's a flag we actually need, and that is the practice sword flag. So Kitcot actually already got the practice sword just normally, while Floha got the goddess sword. So it was a lot going on. So I don't know if everyone saw it, but the goddess sword RBM is basically just you go to the goddess sword, get the goddess sword, and start at the same time, and the sword get applied to your file. And stuff like this we can do with every type of stuff. So not only items can be manipulated like that, also scene flags, which are like opening a gates, for example. So you can see there, Kitcot bumped that tree, and that updated his file he had selected, and that way the gates opened. And that's something we're gonna use more often. So right now he's gonna get the goddess sword normally and continue to go to place the tablet and go to Faron. On the other hand, Floha is now going to use the corrupt file to not have to do the cutscene skip. So he'll just skip that. You can see he just died directly. And that way, yeah, he can die without any problems. But, as I said, he still has to get the practice sword for flag reasons. So there's basically, what we'll do later is we'll get flags from Skyloft and apply them to other places. And since they share the same space memory, they mean other things on other areas. So, for example, the flag that opens the gates on Skyloft means something completely different in every area of the game. So, if we do that and correctly and in a smart way, then we can get these important flags to other maps and skipping huge portions of what we need to do. Yeah, so it's important to note that we're actually only going to technically we could use it for almost everything, like almost do basically everything we want, but it will take a lot of time because setting up back in time is quite annoying. So let's see. So we'll only use it for bigger things. So it seems like Floha has trouble opening the the halls. So the file that Matt Bruce should have it on it. So he needs to commit that flag. I guess he didn't commit it. So as I said earlier, so for example, this place is locked right now, okay? And one of his files right at the moment, which is either file 1 or file 2, both work, have the flag for it to be open. But he needs, in order to it to be open, the game needs an update. So, for example, checking a statue, he could check like the LA statue or something else, or like bonking a tree where it's like a hidden groupie. All those things will update, and so it will load the information of the file he has selected. So what happened there is he had the wrong file selected when trying to commit, or he couldn't commit with the thing he used, which has different reasons. But yeah, so we'll need to commit something. So I'm not sure if LA will work because he actually has it checked already on his game. So the best way is probably to bonk a tree, in my opinion. You can also try Upper Academy again. I don't think he checked it while playing. File 1 should work as well. It's saved in Skyloft as well. So let's hope this time it committed and he can open. On the other hand, like Kitcot, he actually did a 5 cutscene skip right there. So you can dive off before the cutscene trigger gets you. So there's like a cutscene trigger in front of the Fair Pillar talks about that you can dive down there. But if you dive before the cutscene starts, it will just not play because you're not in the right position. You're not on your loft room, so it can't play. So he just dived into Faron, skips, saves a good amount of time. So right now yeah, okay, I think he reset it and redone it. He would need to he would need to select F1 to F1 to get it open if he commits F1 basically. So, well, actually no, we now know that it's not actually needed anymore. But okay, whatever. He could try again, or he could go for 2 bottles. His choice. Seems like he's gonna redo it. So the reason why you need this flag is because we only get 1 bottle in this route, and that route. So later we will need 2 bottles, but we only have 1, so we need to RVM something away. RVM is basically just what I talked about with it is called reverse bit magic, and it's basically taking a flag from the place you're at and applying to a different area where it means something different. So right now a little bit more of tutorial. So yeah, he'll commit with bonking, which should, if he keeps this file selected, and he should be able to open the place. Don't know what. I mean, he got the cruise cutscene for sure, so he should have it open. So he gets it. So back in time is very complicated, as you can see. If you do an easy mistake can cost you the whole back in time, and as time goes on, back in time will get more complicated because our setup's gonna be there. So if you do something there wrong, you will lose a lot of time. So even Kitcot, if he's gonna lose some of the later back in time, he will lose about 3 minutes at least. So it seems like he got it. This time the commit came through, the door was open and can actually enter and get the practice sword. As I said, he needs it for later. So on Kitcot's end, you can see he's now gonna get for the only bottle we'll get in this run. We don't need a potion, we just need a bottle, and it's easy to get. Potion is useful later, but record pace, I'm pretty sure it's probably not gonna happen. But who knows? I would be pretty impressed, but I must remember that Kitcot didn't get cutscene skip, and yeah, Floha having some troubles. So, I mean, we'll see. So, next up is Faron Woods. So after place this beacon right here, there's gonna be. Let's see if he gets it first try. So, Impa can be a little bit picky when placing that beacon and just tells you to redo it, which is a little bit annoying, especially on English, but luckily both our runners are in Japanese. So yeah, we use Japanese because of text. So as I said, there is no instant text in this game. And oh boy, English is way slower. Way slower than Japanese for some reason. So it's like there are probably like a minute on that text alone right there with Impa on difference, or like 30 seconds at least. So yeah, that's just one text. So Japanese is definitely the right thing to do. So Floha is also now going to go to Faron, and he will also perform the cutscene skip. So if you didn't see it in Kitcot end, you can see it in Floha's end sooner or later. So right there, you can see, I didn't really talk about it, but this run is actually played on hero mode, and hero mode is kind of the normal way of playing this game in a speedrun setting, because you can skip the cutscenes and you actually take more damage. So more damage is important because we want to die a lot, and cutscene skipping is obviously important if you want to go fast. So right there you saw also a third thing about this, and that is that the Skyward strike of your goddess sword, or like any sword you have, is actually at full power. So like a true master sword, Skyward strike. It still needs the long charging of the goddess sword, or like whatever sword you're holding. But if you perform it, the strike, it will go further and do more damage. So normally you shouldn't be able to one-shot those equivalents like that. But with the empowered Skyward strike from hero mode, you can actually do that. Now it's important that you don't hit them with your sword, you only hit them with your strike. So You always need to keep some distance between the enemies, so you can actually hit them with the strike and not the sword, because the sword is still the normal damage. So if you hit them with the sword, it will just do a little amount of damage. Running faster. I'm not sure if Kitcot's game is running faster. I mean, like frames. Yeah. No idea. Maybe it's some sound settings he has. So yeah, right there again you saw the powerful strike, and on Floha's end you see let's try to dive into Faron and see if he can get it. Seems a little bit iffy. Let's hope he gets it. But diving can be a little bit complicated. We'll see a good dive later as well. The best dive. So again, a lot of stamina usage is very important. So try to like get the perfect roll amount, and so these runners obviously know when to roll, when to run. So yeah. Ace in Skyward Sword? I don't think so. Gonna be interesting though. So a little bit of Marty chase right there. So something, if you played it casually, you might not know. You can actually bonk the side right there, and you bonk down that vine, and it's actually useful because you can get to the Elder very quickly without going all the way around after we got Machi. And we want to get to the Elder to get to Lobster first, because it's a huge walk around if we do Lobster at any other time, so we start with it. And you also saw you can slash the mushrooms. You don't have to bonk it, but you can also bonk it. So yeah, as I said, right now we can't really use Back in Time very effectively because we don't have the setups for it. Back in Time most of the time crashes, so you need to be really careful with what you do, and you need the right setups for everything. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess Zelda is still back in Skyloft. I just saw her like, when we were like jumping out of the cutscene, but we didn't get it. It's the only time I saw Zelda. But I guess she's on Skyloft right now. But we decided to go to this surface. Let's see what's up here. So yeah, effectively with the cutscene skip earlier, or like just avoiding the cutscene, I guess, because both didn't get the cutscene skip, or like didn't do the cutscene skip. You skip like the whole part where Zelda gets captured, but I guess she's probably. I mean, Zelda's always captured, right? She can't really. I don't know what's with her. So she's probably captured or something. I don't know. Let's just keep going and killing those Bokoblins with one strike, hopefully. So again, he needs to get out of range so the sword doesn't hit them. Nice. Now you can see you can get huge. Yeah. Low percent technically don't need the green. Can skip. You can technically skip the tunic, which is funny but hard, and also limiting. But yeah, so it's again in this game you can actually skip a lot of things, but it's not faster because, as I said, Back in Time takes a long time, and Back in Time is mostly if you're not doing like scene flags, which is like gates and stuff. If you do other things like items and bigger and more important flags, then you can actually only get them by actually doing them. So it's obviously not fast to start Back in Time, do exact the same thing you would do in a normal game file and get the flag. It wouldn't be faster, obviously. So if we can skip stuff, we will skip stuff, and we will skip a lot of stuff. So yeah. Nice Floha with the first try beacon. Apparently, spoiling everyone in the chat. That is not nice. So, okay, it seems like he didn't lie at least. So at least he only spoiled us for real. Oh, nice rupee. And so obviously we'll try to avoid rupees because, yeah, you can see why the text box is slow. So if you have to collect a rupee, you can actually do a precise hop, front hop, or like, yeah, front hop basically, and you will skip the text box because Link is like in the air when getting the rupee, so the game's like, okay, I don't give you the text box. But the text box only appears once, so now he can get every green rupee once, so yeah, at least good. So we'll get through here once more, and this flag will also be useful, so we'll push down that log for later basically. Again, a little bit of setup here and there. It's gonna be, I mean, if you normally know Skyward Sword, there's a lot of backtracking, but in this category is actually not that much backtracking at all. So yeah. So finishing up with the last Kikli on Kitcot's end, and Floha is going did rescue the Goron and is entering Faron Woods next. So here again, the second time that we need that vine, very useful to get fast, to be fast. Oh, we have the Kikwi Elder. Yeah, true. There's a silver rupee in each. But I don't think you're gonna need that. In fact, you're don't gonna need any money in this whole run. In general, Link is just gonna be poor all the time, but it's fine. He'll just get things gifted all the time, so he will be fine. Like the slingshot. So yeah, if you choose a good side hop right there, you can see save a frame or something with that side hop. He's talk to the, yeah. I mean, I understand that. I think it's kind of what the game wants you to do, because the Kikwi Elder tells you that you should rescue them, but you actually don't have to. One of the few things where the game actually lets you skip something. Most of the time the game really wants to do what they want to do. But we know our way around of things. So right there also, if you can read Japanese, you might have seen it. But the Kikwi Elder actually thinks we bonked down that vine in front of him with the slingshot. But we didn't do that, so it's clearly obvious that he was sleeping all the time and not hiding. Otherwise he would have known. So let's, I think we'll go for the RNG trick. So let's bless RNG in the chat for the upcoming RNG trick. So yeah, this is gonna be Extending Blow. Some of you might know it. So basically, we'll try to final blow, so like the jump on the enemy, the moment the enemy is over the void, and that will clear the enemy data. But the game still needs Link to jump somewhere. But since everything is cleared, he jumps to 0, 0, 0. So the RNG part with that is that their knockback distance of the Bokoblin is random. So right there he got like the low bounce that most of the time will just end up not working, but he's tried anyway. It's a pretty cool trick, but it didn't work. Yeah, RNG. And it saves, I think, still 20 seconds or something. Not that much anymore because we have more tricks. So the other trick to skip Deep Woods is this. This is a cube orb. This only works on hero mode because at the range of the Skyward Strike is far enough, so for normal mode you can't do this. And the other trick we can do is a fight cutscene skip. So if he is doing everything correctly, he can do with a precise, okay, he can back this up, that was close. So with a precise jump slash right there, it's actually really hard. There we go, you can skip the fight X. This still a save time, even with the 2 bongs I think. Probably, maybe it lost a few seconds at most, so still more than fine. and that skips a big fight text that is annoying and no one wants to watch that. Yeah, definitely first try. So Skyview, so we're gonna see a new type of back in time we didn't use yet. So this form is called a back in time warp. And what we're basically going to do is we're going to save and start at the same time. And how saving works is that the first thing that's gonna be saved is the coordinates. So if we save and start at the same time, we can actually keep the map we are on, but take the statue of the coordinates because those get saved first. And this way, we can warp in Skyview directly to the hub room. So that's gonna be pretty good skip, pretty huge part of basically everything of Skyview gets skipped like this. So the thing about this big warp is that since we'll just warp to a random room, this room is actually only partially loaded. So this game has like other rooms partially loaded in case you enter it, but not fully loaded. So like enemies aren't there, some doors are unloaded and stuff. So this will lead to that this room is like kind of empty and some doors unloaded. A good thing is that the gate to the boss is actually unloaded, so you can just move through. But the rope isn't there to the boss, so you need to, yeah, this was scary. You need to reload the rope. So what you saw Kitcot do right there was actually starting first and then saving, which is a little bit fast because the starting takes place early, but it's scary because if you fail, do it too early, you'll have big problems because your file will be corrupted and you can't do anything anymore. So let's hope that don't happen. but Kitcot got this, I think. He knows how to do it. Right there, annoying spider. Let's see if he can dodge it. Oh, you're gonna kill it. Okay, also good. So there's no luck needed for the spider because he's just going to kill it. So right now we could go for the boss, but we actually need a beetle. So why would we need a beetle? So there's like one thing in the entire game we need a beetle for, but skipping that is slower at the moment. So it's not worth skipping it. Low percent would skip it, but obviously if you want to go as fast as you can, you have to get it because it's faster. Yeah. And let's see if Kitcot is going for some C-up strats right after this fight. So as you can see, I actually didn't mention it, but both players I think skipped the shield. I'm not 100% sure on Floha's end, but Kitcot definitely skipped the shield. So this fight is a little. Ooh, that's bad. So since we did a big warp, the last time we actually saved was on Skyloft with the big warp. Oh, yeah, but since we're in a dungeon, you will get back to the last statue we actually saved on. So like a bit warp isn't really a real save, so we'll just straight up jump to the entrance statue. The problem though is, yeah, you can see, needs to redo the bit warp. But right at the moment he is a good amount ahead, so it should be fine. Right now he's saving after 2 hearts. That is because he will perform a back in time later, and being on low hearts obviously is needed. So yeah, that's unlucky. Puts him back, but he still had the thing open, so you could actually like go to the beetle directly and fight the guy again. It should be possible. I'm not 100% sure, but you could directly go to the beetle probably with this bit warp. So maybe you didn't lost that much time. But yeah, without the shield, you can see that's the problem without the shield, basically. You can't protect yourself if you fail something. Again, fast and scary bit warp. Floha not saving the frames with the side up and just getting the slingshot normally. And you can see why, because now he has to jump down and that loses time. So it seems like he doesn't go for the beetle right away. Fine too. There's probably some problems with this partially loaded room, but I think you could get it right away. But it's fine to just enter and exit right here. Don't be mean to the Kikui Elder. It's not for meat. It's too cute. So yeah, he's now going for it at least. Should still be. No, it's actually closed again. Interesting. Guess it resets if you die. And he's troubleshooting. So we actually need some slingshot seats. So he shouldn't waste too many, but it should be fine with 11. We won't need that many more. But yeah, we actually need the slingshot, or like use the slingshot to be fast, because one thing about RBMs I didn't mention is that you actually need to commit them. So the same way that we have to commit, so if we want a file data to be read while playing in the title screen, we need to bonk a tree, for example, to update it. As I said, the game will then read what's going on. No, see up, no, losing your frames. So, as I said, on the title screen, you have to do the same thing. You have to commit, and then the file gets read. And while you play and you RBM something, you also have to commit it. So you also have to do like bonking a tree or like slingshot something that drops a rupee, for example, and that will do it. Yeah. Floha's he got the shield though, so that's good. Yes. So what I was talking about there with C up is you can actually, some cutscenes have like a panning motion at the end, and if you C up before the cutscene starts, you will actually directly gain control of things. And this actually saves some time depending on the cutscene, and this Stalfos cutscene, like the chest spawning cutscene, is one of those. So as I said, we don't need rupees, so why did Kitcot get a rupee right there? I guess he didn't want to be poor. No, so this actually sets the flag we need. So yeah. The Floha got the 5 skip, that's nice. Again, he needs every time he can get. So yeah, the red rupee is a flag we need. Well, this actually is the flag. On Skyloft, it corresponds to Petro's door being open. And yes, we will enter Petro's house. So yeah, that's nice as well. Yeah, the fight text is really close. You really need to get to need that left jump and that jump slash. So let's hope Floha isn't dying after this big warp. Well, at least the next time he wants to do back in time, he's not dying in between. So yeah, this is the next, actually the first RBM we'll do, like the scene flag RBM at least. So as I said, we needed the practice sword, and this is actually the flag of the practice sword. So if you get the practice sword, then the Sheikah stone will appear when you exit. And right now we'll start our file and run into this cutscene that would play. And this cutscene, this Sheikah stone cutscene, or Gossip stone cutscene, whatever you want to call it, is the flag you need for yeah, this is the flag you will need here, right here. It saves a little bit of time. Well, to be fair, you don't need it, but we have to copy a file anyways, so doing bit is more convenient. So if we can do bit anyway, we're low health and well, that was close. We're low health and we need to copy a file, so we'll just start bit and do a flag RBM. The practice sword is actually used later as I said, for like a bottle replacement. This is not a bottle replacement because you don't need a bottle here. This is just convenient, and it's pretty funny. It's actually cool that we get to do it, because in most scenarios we wouldn't do this. But any percent luckily is in a position where it can easily do this. And yeah, we'll see what it does soon. It's still almost over. What could possibly be skipped with this RVM? If basically everything is done already. By the way, you can see Floha is cutting both those boards as well as Kitcot did. That actually has a reason. Again, a flag we'll need later. This flag is gonna be used as well, because as I said, we want to copy, because this is actually our third setup file right here, which we're gonna carry through most of the game. So pretty important setup, so we want to have as much flags as possible. And Skyview has just a bunch of flags, so we'll get basically everything we need by doing this, which is good. Because, yeah, no, I think all the setup is good. Thor's also going safe with, oh gosh, that's funny. Jump back from the final blow, put him into the void, but the spider's still dead. Yeah, you do the automatic backflip after the final blow, and that just killed him. Kills Batman. Yeah, that's what we get for killing Spider. Karma. Yeah. Kitcot died because he killed the spider, and Flower fall into the void because he killed the spider. Yeah, because you actually don't need to kill the spider, you can do a precise jump. Just while he's swinging, you can jump and land at the other side and just, yeah, ignore the spider basically. Yeah, rip spider. It's right there. This is fast what Kitcot is doing, hanging down there, saves time. So what I didn't mention, when he saved and died, he actually tried to be as fast as possible, because there's a bokoblin that is, like when you go over the rope, there's like a bokoblin on the other side, and you knock him down. And if you're fast enough, he will actually survive. So if you're fast enough before saving, he will actually survive, and he can kill you, which is way faster than dying in any other means. Right there, you saw Kitcot skipping the rupee text with a front hop, because we don't want text. Text is slow. But why did he need a rupee, you ask? So the rupees will update his inventory, and that is important because we just got the Elden tablet, right? And we'll actually place that back in time and get the flag for it. So this one is actually a so-called story flag. A story flag is just a big flag that the game needs to know on different areas, so it can't be specific to an area, because the game needs to know it when it's in different areas, basically. I don't know if you get the point, but basically a big flag that can only be gotten if you do exactly the same thing in back in time and not be manipulated. And you might think like, okay, we'll now get the Elden Pillar on file 1 because we need it there, but we actually need it on file 2. So for those who don't remember, file 2 is at the moment the early game, and file 3 is our Skyview setup file. Yeah, so why would we need it on file 2? Well, it's, as I said, for setup. It's gonna be some shenanigans later with this pillar, and we'll get to it when it's time. Pillar is there. He could also have checked by the text, but he's checking by looking at it, and it looks like it's there. So yeah, we're there on Floha, and he will try to run as fast statue as possible to save before the goblin died. But I'm not sure if he got it. Didn't look like it. So after we placed it on file 2, we can actually place it for full. I actually don't know why he saved and quit, but I guess that's fine. He could also just not do the Girahim skip, because at this point it's not faster should I, but I guess he'll go for it. Because now actually the Girahim skip will lose time doing it now. But he got the bokoblin, so at least that is fast. as I said, the Girahim skip is only worth it if you have the anyway. So this actually you lose some time, but it's still cool, so I think it's good that he's doing it. Bullies. Yeah, all those bullies here. Everyone hating Floor. So mean. So after we place the Elden tablet for real in Kitcot's end, we can actually fly there. So yeah. So now we'll have everything set up. And now we're gonna do a bunch of back in times. Whenever we can to save a big chunk of time. The first one will be skipping skipping the first part, like the first big part of Elden with a good bit warp after we land. Yeah. His internet definitely is also an underdog. Let's hope it comes back. So yeah, we took the potion because after the bit we'll actually take 4 hearts of damage. So we need to be at full health before saving, and we'll die now. And the fastest way is to get this Chew to attack us and then jump into the lava, because the lava is actually faster. Because Link is not falling to the ground, he's directly dying because of lava, and that's faster. So yeah, we'll kill him in the lava if we need to. So Floa seems to spoiler again. Nice spoiler flow. Seems like he will activate the life tree seedling cutscene. I think. Yeah. Spoiler. So there, the bit warp that Kitcot just did with the Bazaar statue is actually precise. So you have to, at the right position, you will clip under a goddess cube that is next to this loading zone right here that he's now in, and that will lead to at least pick up the seedling. I don't think he will need it. So right there, he got under the goddess cube and loaded into the area. He also did a jump slash when falling down, because after the jump slash you gain control immediately after taking damage, and Link doesn't have to do any animation. Right there, also pretty good with goblins. Not 1 strike, but about 2 strikes I would say, so quite fast. I kind of want to get all the goblins with 1 strike, but it's really hard because there's so many of them. So the digging smiths is not that useful in the game, but at the moment it's the fastest way to get it as well, and it will give us a ferry later we could use, so it's convenient to pick up since we're right there anyways. Keeping all this just takes longer. So this time he didn't get the fly cutscene skip, so he can actually do the Girahim skip, which is it's pretty sad that he is doing the Girahim skip, which is at the moment slower than not doing it twice. That is pretty sad, but yeah. I mean, as I said, if Kitcot is failing the later ones, it's gonna be, he can catch up, I guess. So no circles for Kitcot, so he obviously just lost. So Floa is in the lead right now. He didn't get yeah, so there's actually a trick you can do. You can enter the loading zone of Impa in an angle that don't get Link in the right position. So basically the Link is trying to get in the right position for the cutscene, but he can't because of his angle, and he just keeps running in circle. And if you do that, you lose a frame, but your run is just 1,000 times better. And it's actually the only way to get world record. Kidding. So yeah, he didn't get it, so probably no world record this time. Maybe next time. And Floha is now finally skipping the aim. I hope it was worth it. Yeah, definitely the make or break trick. So right now, another back in time. This time we're going to push the gravestone. And you might know that we'll open the shed if we're at night, so that's what I'm going to do right now. So this is the first time we have to be careful because we're actually entering areas, and every time we enter an area it can crash based on stuff we don't really know what. And one thing that crashes if you exit this house, like enter Skyview, Skyloft in any other layer than this night layer we're on. Which is convenient because we actually do some nighttime back in time, so good that we can do that. And yeah, so you need to leave with the early game file to get this because the early game file has to write a layer. Every other file would have crashed right there, so it was important that he selected file 2 before exiting the house. So, so 200% of the time. Well, that's an achievement, I would say. So, this RBM we just did with pushing the gravestone, this actually opens the Earth Temple door. So there's just a simple scene flag in this area that opens the Earth Temple door, which you can manipulate right there. Oh, Jesus, some high expectations from our runners right there. Hopefully they can keep it up. So, yeah, the door will still be closed. It at least would look like. So what's going on right there is we just did the commit, but the Earth Temple door is actually like a big actor that just, even though the game is like, okay, the door is open, it isn't moved out of the way. He would need to reload the area by going somewhere else and entering it again or dying. That way it would actually update. But we actually don't need it to update because it can stay closed, but the cutscene that puts you, like the intro cutscene, actually goes beyond the door. So we know we couldn't pass this door right now without reloading, but the cutscene's trigger is still there because the game knows the door is open, and thus putting the cutscene trigger to be available. And we can just move it to the cutscene trigger, and we're fine. We can just skip past the door basically. But technically it's still there and it's also doing collision. The cutscene, the intro cutscene will just suck us in, and yeah, the door can't do anything against that. So nice key piece dowsing, we really need that. Really important for us. This dowsing is the most important one, for sure. Right there, Kitcot is turning around the camera to do a camera manipulation. This will reset the don't move the platform cycle because everything that is not in the camera vision actually freezes. So also this platform cycle. Right there, you can see it if he hits with the beetle, we'll see a cutscene. But if he did it with the sword, there was no cut. The reason that is because he was in the air while cutting the rope. He will try to do it again right there. So if he's in the air, he can actually skip this cutscene. Especially the last one is pretty long, so that's why we cut the high ropes the second time. Because that is the cutscene we have to watch, because we obviously can't be in the air while using it. But there we don't need to kill this guy, so we'll just use the Skyward Strike. Again, this is only possible in hero mode right here. Otherwise you would need to use the slingshot, but we don't need to. We need our steeds anyway. As I said, a lot of back in times coming in now. Next back in time, right away. But this time, this is gonna be pretty familiar to you. Again, dying the lava because that's the fastest. And Lo seems to have some trouble not getting the puller against spoilering, but guess he failed it. He also could check with the text, so we'll see it right there if he's safe and quitting. Puller.
This pillar is pretty important. It's not like the gear aim skip, he can just forget it. He really needs to redo it. And he has no other chance. So this is why the racers are actually checking if the pillar is there or not. So the pillar is actually definitely not there. You can see it with the text box right there. The pillar is definitely not on file 2. So what I was talking about, you really need to check it right away, because after you place the tablet on your real file, you actually lose the tablet, so you can't place it again. So yeah, if you just ignore it and you didn't get the pillow, you just can't do anything. And I can tell you, if you don't get the pillar, you need like an hour longer at least, like probably 2 hours longer if you don't get the pillar. So you don't want to lose 2 hours by not checking. Again, the same. There's like there you can really see how powerful Back in Time is. So we did like the exact same RVM we did earlier, but because we did it on a different area, it did something different. The Earth Temple is a different area than Alien Volcano. This will do something completely different. This time it will pull up the bridge, but you don't see it yet because you actually need to reload for that as well. So basically the same as the Elden Door, but this time there's no cutscene that can put us up there or behind it or something, so we have to reload. But since we have to do anything, since we have to do stuff anyway, like getting bomb bag and stuff, yeah, we don't mind. So right there, you have to be careful to not get hit by the bomb, but you actually want to be in a crawl space, because in the crawl space, the cutscene can't play. There's like a cutscene for the rock to blow up, but the game's like, oh cool, the rock blowed up, but you can skip that. Another cutscene skip right there. You can skip that cutscene if you shoot one of the Salfos with a slingshot. Then normally there will be a cutscene where they get like angry or something at you. But if you shoot them with a slingshot, it doesn't happen anymore. Earth Temple is home to all the cutscene skip basically, which is funny. So let's see if Floha's getting it right now, but it seems like he's spoilering. Like he really has to get this, otherwise he's in big trouble. It's not like a Gira aim skip, he really needs to get it. Yeah, Pika, you're also known for spoilering. Yeah, he's too impatient right there, pretty sure. I didn't totally watch it, so I'm not 100% sure what it looked like. There should be another camera change. You don't need to bit save. You already saved. You need a rupee though. So there you see he reloaded, and that way the thing is back on. So he just died right there after the cutscene was. So yeah, he can just run up now because the actor actually moved. So some intentionally running up slopes, and then unintentionally running up slopes in the next section. So right here he will trigger every rock, and there's actually there's rocks, no rock, rocks. And normally you're not supposed to get up there, you're not supposed to blow up something on the side, which is really slow. But there's something that's called stutter sprinting, where you in a rhythm press A all the time, and that way you can actually get more stamina. But it's slower, so we'll only do it if we have to. We need the extra range. So right there we needed the extra range, and that's why we stutter sprinted. Normally you won't see that. The only place you'll see it. So let's hope he can do it this time. By the way, I didn't mention it, but I just saw the Floha's end, so the second board we cut in the Skyward room where I said it was important. Oh, Floha is spoiling again. Apparently he started his file. Or something. Guess he waited too long. If he did a reverse speed wall. Right there on the camera when it gets dark. Basically around that time. Yeah, that's too late. Basically you need to do it the moment the camera changes and it gets dark. It's like a pretty good indicator actually. So where was I at? Yeah, so the boards we cut in the Skyward room actually it raises the pedestal in the goddess statue room. So you see that when he enters the room and selecting for 3 for everything, he can actually get the pillar up, the pedestal up I mean, and that way it saves like half a second every time you do it, and we do use it twice in this run, so 3 seconds I think. 1.5 seconds each time. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think that's right. So yeah, it saves a little bit of time. So now, favorite boss, guys, favorite boss. And actually, nice brake sliding right there. So you saw Kitcot like sliding a little bit. Most of you probably know what brake sliding is out of other games. Have the same engine. Actually, yeah, the brake slide is used because he was out of stamina. He can use that to like use one stamina bar without refill. You actually see that every like top runners do that because that's actually you only need to use one of the stamina bar. It's pretty useful. So basically, brake sliding works. You run in one direction and then you directly hold ESS position in the other direction. ESS position is basically just very slightly so the game doesn't really recognize it. And that way you can actually slide. And even without stamina, as you saw right there, you can get very, very fast because backwards movement is not. Because you basically do like some sort of backwards movement, but that isn't slowed down. So that way you can actually be really fast even by all these spoilers, guys. All these spoilers. Let me say that your Scaldera is meh. So it looks like your Scaldera is pretty meh so far. He didn't hit the first time, so the eyes can be really trolly. And but it's still fine. He only won up one time he didn't want it to, so basically one failed / cost him one extra movement of him, so like probably 15 seconds. Probably more like 20 seconds of optimal. Yeah. Not 100% sure, but yeah, so it seems like he was able to finally get the pillar. That is good. That's very important, as I said. Very, very important. So Kitcot seems to be 4 minutes behind PB, so there you can see. So well, he kind of failed like the cutscene skip. Need to back it up. So it makes sense, and also having the failed a bit warp, which is huge, which was really huge, lasted like 2 minutes, probably more, because he actually moved all the way back to the sculptural room. So huge one. So it makes a lot of sense that he's 4 minutes behind right now. So yeah, next dungeon completed. So this dungeon at the moment is sadly still did. So the funny thing is we actually don't really need linear with the speedrun, but linear is actually faster. Actually, not sure why. Oh yeah, he's going to the Thunderhead right now. I'm dumb. So what I was saying, we actually don't really need Linneo in this category, because we could skip the harp, and it's actually not that much slower. But yeah, it is slower, so we still have to go for Linneo. And the reason why it's slower is because we actually need to beat Earth Temple anyway. So normally a hop skip could actually skip Earth Temple and Linneo, but the reason we can't skip Earth Temple or like placing the tablet is that the Elden Trial, which we need to go to the Fire Sanctuary to beat the game, we need to beat Fire Sanctuary, and yeah, we only can get there if we can get to the. So if there ever gonna be a way to get to the Volcano Summit without Fire Shield earrings, or manipulating the layers in some way to be able to get the trial, you can actually skip Earth Temple, Scaldera, and Linneo. Probably something many runners would be happy with, because Scaldera is a bitch. So yeah, I should probably mention why he can access the Thunderhead right now. So, as I said, the Thunderhead is one of those big flags you can only do if you do them normally. But luckily, you normally open the Thunderhead while being on Skyloft. And there is a scene flag connected to it that actually starts the whole cutscene. And the cutscene again sets the story flag for it to be open. Okay? So if we have the scene flag and commit it while being on Skyloft and back in time, cutscene will actually start. And this cutscene will give us the story flag. You might wonder because you didn't see the flag, the cutscene play, but it actually would have played after the shed opening cutscene. So you saw, like, for Earth Temple we opened the shed, and right after the shed we already started, but after the shed there would be the Thunderhead cutscene. And luckily this game just queues up things, so the game just set it for us. It just sets it for us, so nice. And that's why the Thunderhead is open right now. Oh, a Rupium. Yeah, Rupee pretty bad right there. Also having some trouble with the Bokobans. There you can see, like, if he hits him with like the sword and not the strike, there's like a big problems coming. Lots going on right now. So Kitcot right now got the Furrow's Courage song. We actually need that for thanks guys. We actually need this song for the right layer. So this song will give us the right layer for the trial. The same way we need to beat Earth Temple to get access to the Elden Trial, we need Furrow's Courage to get access to the Faron Trial, which is sad because otherwise you could also skip that. So a lot of things that potentially could be skipped, but the problem is layers. So yeah, right now we have to do it still. So right now we're gonna RBM the Amber Tablet, but this time we don't need to do it on File 2. Has no benefit from getting the Amber Tablet. So we'll just place it on our normal file. So right now, right there you can see he committed File 3, and there you can see with this the pedestal will rise if he enters this place. It's all good, Floy. You can redeem yourself if you get circles. And if not, it's also fine. So, let's see if he gets the circles. He didn't get it. Well, it's fine. Not losing the frames, I guess. So there you can see he will now RBM it on file 1. So the reason why we do the Amber Tablet RBM why do we do this? So basically we do this because there's like the flight back to Skyloft is so long, really long. and it's just faster to do back in time, save at the lower academy statue, and directly fly to Linneo from there. So like the whole flying through the Thunderhead is just so slow. Takes about, I think, 2 minutes to get to Skyloft or something ridiculous. Which is like huge time. Don't have that time. Probably not that much, but whatever. It's faster to do the bit, so we do the bit, basically. And yeah, so next up is the Nehru. So the reason why Hopskip is also not faster is because the Nehru is broken as fuck. Being the last area in the game is a problem because the layer protection isn't as strong anymore because the game's like, yeah, you did most of the stuff. I'll give you the layers you need to do your stuff. So this actually, yeah, Lineru, we can basically do whatever we want. We can get Sansi, we can skip LMF, we also skip Sandship. We could RBM the trial in if we would need it, but we don't. And yeah, so basically we can do whatever we want. Right there, and what we want is getting the harp. So we will do RBM, and we'll talk to good old demon guy, and the demon guy actually knows a secret way to the Linneo mining facility. He didn't tell anyone before, but if we talk nice to him and accept his quest, then he will show us the way. So this time, I said it earlier, this is actually the moment we need the red ruby. We'll in Skyview. So we got the red ruby in Skyview. This is the flag that opens up the patrol's door. So right there you can see committed to flags because they're actually used to open them. So if he's now going to, so he has to be careful because there's a fight trick. Skip that with good camera. So if he has file 3 selected before opening the door, he can then switch to file 1 and load his room. In this way, we get to see good old spooky guy on the title screen. And yeah, we'll have some time right now. Because this is gonna take some time. So yeah, but now he's scared. But he has still said a lot of text. So important to say. So Patrol set 2 flags when you talk to him for the first time. One flag is a scene flag, that is the one that we will manipulate onto Linevu, which will have a interesting effect. And the other one is the actually quest from him. So his quest is obviously a story flag because other areas need to know if there should be gratitude crystals or not. And this story flag is also useful. So right now we actually need both. And you might ask, why do you need gratitude crystal? Definitely not to make people happy. That's not why we need that. We need it to go fast. And it's also fast to fly out and fly in back into Linneo. Because Patrol actually like scouted out the area and he noticed that cool statue can fly to. And you will see that statue right there. So if you played this game before, you might know that there's a statue right after you finished LMF. And that statue is actually behind the rubble. So yeah, for some reason they put that there. 100% sure why. But this way, I mean, they probably didn't know that would happen. So this way you can actually just fly to that statue and you're behind the rubble. So you can just enter the LMF from behind, exit it, and you did LMF. Pretty hard dungeon, I would say. And finished. Good job, Kitcot. Not bad, not bad. So yeah, right there, getting the cutscene skip very good. So there's like again a few frame cutscene skip, useful because yeah, cutscenes are slow. And this one is actually an interesting one because this is normally supposed to, since Zelda disappears. I mean, spoilers for everyone who didn't play it, but I mean, who cares? There is story behind this that like Zelda disappears through the gate of time, and Fi is like, okay, you can't track Zelda anymore, and unsets the dowsing. But if you cutscene skip that cutscene, you actually keep the Zelda dowsing. So whatever now happens, because Zelda dowsing has the highest priority for some reason, no other dowsing will get over it. So keep the Zelda dowsing until the end of the game. If you get a cutscene skip, that is. Which is funny. So right now, we got the harp, so we'll talk to Bruce. But we actually won't do the Ballad of the Goddess right now. Later, in a more convenient time, we can skip a bunch of cutscenes with doing it in Back in Time. You might wonder how we're gonna do it Back in Time. You will see. It's definitely possible, I can tell you that. But this one we need. This is for the layer. So this one sets the right layer in the Sea Temple, so if you now enter the Seal Temple, you will be able to get the Ballad of the Goddess. Yeah, so back to Faron, but this time we actually have the right layer for it. So we could technically open the trial with RBM, but we don't need to, because we have the harp. And there's actually a trick we can do, which skips the cutscene after you finish playing the song. So normally there's a flag, and not a flag. There's a cutscene after you put down the last pedestal. But if you press B in the same frame, the last pedestal falls down. You actually can't skip that cutscene, but the trial still completes. So that's interesting. Accidentally found by Gymnast. As you press B for some reason on the last frame right there, you can see it. Basically it got completed, but it disappears at the same time. But it's still there. Yeah, sadly we can't hear Fi singing, but it's fine. Wouldn't say Faron is not the best song anyway. Silent Realm music though is pretty cool. So have fun hearing that. Because right now we're gonna hear a lot of Fi tags. So on Floha's end, he seems to be at the Earth Temple right now, trying to get the cutscene skips with the rope. There you can see if you do jump too early, we actually get its name. Well, you know, I mean it's not bad, none of these songs are bad, but I think there's just some better ones. But if you like that the most, it's totally fine, I can appreciate the song as well. So right there, you see Kitcot doing a slightly Gary strat, as you can see, running into a culture. No, I'm not a man of a culture. I'm a man of culture. So. So. What I was talking, yeah, he's going for a slightly scarier route, which he runs into the guy right there, and that's a little bit faster because the ones you're normally supposed to get first, will get last in this route, in this silent realm route. Yeah, so right there we'll try to avoid any getting catched by anything, and we'll also try to skip every light fruit we can, because getting a light fruit or getting seen by anything or moving into Wicked Wood
will actually alert the guards and will cause a cutscene. And running into the fruit will also cause a cutscene and a text, which is slow because in this run, I kind of said it earlier, but we actually only visit 2 trials. We only visit the Elden trial and the Elden trial and the Faron trial. We don't visit Linearu because we don't need to. We don't need to send ship and stuff, so we don't need. And yeah, and with only 2 trials actually fasted, simply try to skip all the light routes. So technically it's always fast to skip all the light routes, but if you're already doing 3, oh, he will get catched. That's actually a little bit scary right there. Let's hope he didn't get hit. So, but if you do like more than 2 trials, it can be really hard to avoid. 2 ones is fine. See, that's pretty scary. Yeah, I was thinking that will happen. Climbing up is very scary. This is really bad. Right there, Floha is definitely gonna catch up a lot. So dying in a Silent Realm means redoing everything. Sadly. And Fi saying that you're bad, which is also funny. It's actually funny, if you die often enough in the Silent Realm, Fi will actually say like, I'm not sure if you're the real hero actually, so it's just kind of mean to you if you die too often here. It's kind of funny. But since it's Japanese, you won't see that, and it's also not the. So yeah, but this is just a very bad. That's why most runners actually try to watch it at all costs and directly run back, because it doesn't really cost any time, and it also is really safe, because if you get catched by that watcher, you're like 80% fucked, because running up any platform takes so much time that the guardian will almost always hit you. So yeah, big one right there, but it's fine. He has the time to spare. So, at least we can see more of the Silent Realm. That's nice too, right? Generally, the Silent Realms are pretty cool. At least if you go fast. Yeah, so, it's unlucky. Well, so yeah, the reason why we don't need Little Neighbor Trials, because we don't need any of the songs, and well, we need Favor's Courage, as I said earlier, because of layer reasons, not because we need it for the trial open. Because we can actually RBM, we can actually open every trial with RBM, but you need the right layer for it. So, since we don't do Sandship, we'll RBM the Elden Trial. The Elden Trial will be RBM'd, and what we'll use for that is actually the what's called the Gratitude Crystal Reward. So, as I said earlier, we don't need the Gratitude Crystals to make people happy. We need the Gratitude Crystals to skip more stuff. And we gonna use the 5 Crystal Reward from Patrol, because that actually sets a scene flag, so the game knows that you got the reward already. And yeah, that ends up being able, this reward is actually, luckily enough, skipping the Alien Trial, opening the Alien Trial basically, not skipping, opening the Alien Trial. So yeah, it's quite true. Crystal made speedrun happy, that's true. Actually only need 5, that's fine. So what we're gonna use is the, so since we got the patrol crest started, the story flag for this story flag actually also is the one for Kukil being like rescued again, or like that she goes home again, which is very convenient, because as I said, we need 5 Gratitude Crystals, and this the first quest, the Kukil rescuing quest, actually gives you 5 Gratitude Crystals. So yeah, that's nice, and that's what we're gonna do right now.
Another thing we're gonna do is, I'm pretty certain we're gonna now replace our setup file. So Skyview has been there for long enough. We don't need it anymore. So we'll copy it over and get a new setup file that is in Faron. And right here we're going to get the 5 crystals. So first of all we'll save back to Skyloft because that's closer to Eldon, so we don't need to fly all the way. And then we're going to get the 5 crystals. This is luckily the most convenient place we can get it. So we need to sleep once for Kukul to come back. Then she will be back and we'll get the crystals. So right there, we can talk to her and we can RBM this item. Just set at right time, get the item, and we'll get the item on the real file. Floha seemingly having some trouble, but it'll get it. So yeah, next up is Eldon, and we'll directly use our 5 credited crystals to make sure the Elden Pillar, what I'm talking about. Elden Trial. Jesus, words are hard. Yeah, so next up's gonna be the big RBMs. So in this newest route, we actually push all the Faron bits very far away. So it's gonna be very complicated really quick, so it's probably best to explain that earlier. So right now, as I said earlier, we'll do the Betrow RBM again, but this time it's gonna be the 5. Yeah, Skeletor are gonna be harsh. Hopefully Flo's gonna do it. But this time we're gonna do the 5 crystal reward. And this time actually, the file for opening Betrow's door is on file 1. Because as you see, we copied over file 3, which was normally our file that had it. But luckily, Eldon actually also has this flag. That's one we just get anyways. It's the one that... It's a cutscene before, like, you see like Imper past the bridge, because before Imper is like pushing the bridge down. Where the Mogma talks to you, that's the flag we need. And we obviously need to get that anyway. Right there, a cool little time saver if you get to the first try. Which doesn't seem to be the case. It's a pretty hard one, but it saves time. That's probably still save time right there. So, again, this time he doesn't have to be that careful of file text because he has file 1 files thing selected, so actually shouldn't worry too much, but I think it's probably habit. Because right there the file text is pretty bad if you get it. So again, this time it's file 1, so he can just has file 1 selected and open. I'll be aiming the 5 crystal reward. So what I was talking earlier about the Faron back in times. So there's actually so most things crash, and every sky layer crashes, except the Skyloft tutorial, the Loftring tutorial layer. That layer actually doesn't crash because there's like most everything's unloaded. And this is actually nice because then we can enter the sky. But the problem is there's like a barrier around shit and we can't get anywhere. That's why we did the Elden Pillar RBM. So the Elden's pillar is actually for some reason still in the area of the barrier, so we can just fly there. And also luckily, Link just jumps off if he gets close enough to the pillar. And luckily again, whenever you enter a pillar for the first time, you will get the entering a pillar for the first time cutscene, obviously. And that cutscene will always take you to Faron, no matter which pillar you enter. So the first pillar you enter will always put you to Important, this works both ways. So if if you were on the early game file and we were to exit a pillar, we would actually just exit it and we would just normally exit it, but we couldn't get the first time cutscene anymore. So it basically would cut that out. But since the early game file never entered anything pillar-like, we're fine. So right here, Kitcot is not fine because that is very scary, not getting the light fruit. So he skipped it in Faron, right? And Elden is just a bitch with light fruits. They're like in the way everywhere. Excuse me a second. Okay, Floa finishing Scaldera pretty good, I would say. That was pretty solid. And yeah, so what I was saying, the light fruits are very annoying right there, everywhere. Right there, for example. Everywhere you need to walk around, it's very annoying. It's gonna be more annoying even later. One in front of the scroll space and the rope are the worst. I have no idea what they're. That's very mean. Very mean placement of those fruits. Right there again. Next to the rope. Pretty annoying one. Not getting the thing, that's funny. So it seems like Floa getting a good Caldera, that's nice. And having problem with bombs, I see. He doesn't trust himself that he can put it back in his bag, so he's just plays it safe. So right there, for example, also a very annoying one. And this one as well. Most of the time this will happen, yeah. Because you're so carefully not trying to get the other light fruit. Yeah, so that's basically the only interesting thing in the Elden trial is seeing if the runner can actually avoid all the life. Which is pretty funny, I think. Yeah, if you're too slow, the rope is just very dumb sometimes. And if you're too fast, you can jump off and hang down from the rope. It's a really hard one to skip. Yeah, I think he wasn't fast enough. I think there's probably also speed involved or something. Something dumb probably. Whatever it was, it's fine. And yeah, so this is like the last section again. He's trying to not get caught and not get any light fruits. So just save time. So next up, they're gonna be some big. Oh, I just realized the first time of Faron bit in this route is actually Lumpy Pumpkin Die. That's nice. The best trick as the first one in the first Faron trick is the Faron bit trick is the Lumpy Pumpkin Die. Best one. So next up after the trial, he will go to Volcano Summit and oh, okay, that was close. And right there, so you might wondering how he will ever enter Fire Sanctuary because he basically has nothing. He has no, he's only one bottle. He has no water basin. He didn't even start the whole quest. He just got the scale and run away. So basically, what is in our way? So we have in our way 2 flames and 1 big flame. And luckily, all of these 3 flames can actually be RBM'd away. But the big flame is a little bit tricky. So the big flame is actually a scene flag and a story flag. We have seen it more than often enough. For example, Petro talking to him first, 2 flags, and the flame as well. So if you RBM away, if you set the scene flag, which is the one we can manipulate, the story flag we cannot, because we would have to do the exact same thing, delivering the water basin back in time, which obviously isn't faster and also isn't possible. So we can only get the scene flag down. So the problem is, the game isn't dumb. So you, oh, okay, I guess he needs damage done anyway, so this is fine. Doesn't cost him any time, really. So the game only allows us to do it once. So basically, once you enter the area, the game is like, yeah, okay, you have the scene flag down, so the flames should. But the moment you enter again, the game is like, wait a minute, you didn't get the story flag yet, my friend, and it will get the flames back up. So you have only one chance at doing the successfully entering Fire Sanctuary. If you fail entering Fire Sanctuary, like missing the pouring the water onto the frog, for example, it's like basically the only thing that can go wrong. You actually have to redo an RBM. So hopefully Kitcot is doing the Lumpy Pumpkin Dive first, because this is way better. I don't know why no one is doing that. But that's actually just safer, because you don't have to redo the Lumpy Pumpkin Dive if you fail the water pouring. I mean, I know water pouring failing is very hard, but honestly, it's just so stupid. It doesn't cost any time to start with the Lumpy. No one does it. I have no idea. So he also seems to not do it first, but whatever. If he fails water pouring, it's not my fault, it's his. So, right there, he's gonna. This is the actually use for the practice sword. This is the only reason why we get a practice sword. Right there. This Sheikah Stone cutscene, if you remember, only starts if you have a practice sword. And that flag is actually needed for the second flame. So yeah. Sad life, because if it would somehow be faster to not have to do this, we could actually skip the practice sword, and also end up skipping. Could also end up skipping the cutscene skip, or at least make the save route only a few seconds slower, which at that point totally reasonable. But at the moment it's like 30 seconds to 40 seconds slower, so that's kind of sad. So this is the reason why the save route is so much slower than the actual route. So now he's going for the Lumpy Pumpkin Dive. So, as I said, we will save file 2 flags. File 2 has Rescue the Loftwing. This allows us to actually call our Loftwing. So the game is, okay, since you saved it, the game is like, okay, I now have the information of this file, and this file can call the Loftwing. So you can call the Loftwing. And this is what I'm gonna do right now. So a little trick. So file 2 actually does not have the loading zone of the sky, because it only comes with the hero tool. So a little trick right there is, we have file 3 loaded, right there. Switch to file 2 at the right moment and enter the sky. So file 3 has a tunic, so it activates the sky layer everywhere. So like sky entry everywhere. And then after the entry is already started, like the Loftwing is already flying into the loading zone, like the little cutscene at the end, you can switch to file 2 and actually load the right layer that doesn't crash. If you wouldn't select file 2, it would actually crash and have to reset and redo the output. So then you could see, you enter the pillar and you end up in Faron, because this is the first time cutscene. But that's nice. And yeah, so we will just fly out right away. It's funny, that's the first use of Faron. Bit in a new world, it's really funny. So we'll just fly out right away, and the reason is, what we need is, we need to get to the Lumpy Pumpkin for a flag. We can't get to the Lumpy Pumpkin because of the barrier around the Loftwing tutorial. A way to get around is diving though, because Link doesn't get barrier. The barrier only affects the Loftwing, not Link. And if you mount your Loftwing, funnily enough, the game actually loads your memory. It's like saving basically, because the game has to check your memory. If you have like, I don't really know what it really checks, but I guess it checks if you can dive up. And Flo seems to fail another early pillar, so he didn't get the Untitled. So, and if you have the right file selected, a file that can actually dive off, because our early game file couldn't, and you mount your loft wing afterwards, you actually can dive. And the cutscene from jumping out of Faron actually jumps on your loft wing. The normal sky layer, like from Skyloft to Sky, you just stay on your on the loft wing and you don't mount it afterwards. But when you exit Faron, you actually mount it, so you can actually update it, get the diving flag, and do this. This amazing dive. No problems, because it's totally easy. This dive is totally easy, that's why Kitcot has no problems pulling it off. And yeah, he can get. So what we need right there is the gratitude crystal. Again, we don't need a gratitude crystal for anything besides the flag it gives us, and this flag is actually the flames in front of us, the big one. So yeah, this is the flag that just completely skips the water basing. And water basing quest skipped. There you go. Good old water basing quest skipped. So the only thing we need to do now is... So the first commit might be kind of weird, because we just entered this area and then we left again. That is because that's actually a flag when you enter this area for the first time. So this one is important, okay? Since he didn't do the Lumpy Pumpkin dive first for some reason, this one is actually really huge if he misses. Like, really huge. So let's hope he can pour the water onto this frog. If he fails pouring the water, it's big. If he did the Lumpy Pumpkin dive first, it would be totally fine, but he didn't do it first, so this is scary. Right there we get the Goddess Cube dowsing. And it's actually there, so you can actually... Oh my... Holy... Heart attack right there. Holy shit. Holy shit. That was... Jesus. Honestly, if he failed that right there, that would kind of be karma. Didn't did Lumpy Coming die first, but... I'm glad he didn't fail it. Jesus, boy, that was so weird. There you can see, like, if something like that happens and you actually don't get the frog, you lose like 5 minutes. And if you did Lumpy Pumpkin dive first, you would lose like a minute. So, like, I still don't see why people doing it the other way around. Whatever. The water basin quest skipped. Killing the water dragon skipped. Nothing we need to do. And right now, yeah, that was so monk-ass. That was so fucking scary. I really thought he missed it for a second. This was like the most right you can stay with pouring the water. Yeah, so next up is RBM Sanctuary, and it's called this because, as you might see, we are really not equipped for Fire Sanctuary. We have barely any items, and so we have to cheat our way through this. How we're gonna do this? The problem is to actually get to the last part of the dungeon. You need a Claw Shot. We don't have Claw Shot. But there's actually an overworld bird statue that is on the other side, where you would need a Claw Shots to get to. And as we saw earlier with the Patrol RBM in Lenevu, where we got to the Temple of Time statue, we can RBM those statues. So we can RBM the overworld bird statue in Fire Sanctuary. We can just fly there. And that way we can basically skip like all of Fire Sanctuary. The only problem is that we still need the boss. The boss key is behind bars. It's specifically 2 bars actually. One to get to the room and one to open the chest. Luckily though, all those flags are really fast. So they're like three statue check flags. So really fast. You start a file, you enter back in time. You start your file. You check a statue, and you did the first flag. You do this 3 times, and you have it's like the fastest flags you can do. So that's very convenient. And there's also then one for the overworld bird statue, which is Gratitude Crystal in Paro's house, which is also very fast because it's the closest. Very, very convenient. So, why do we need 4? Because I only said 3 things we need to do. So one is the overworld bird statue, one is the bars in front of the door, one is the bars inside the boss key room, and the last one is killing the Moldorak in the boss room. So the not Moldorak, what's the name of these creatures? Whatever, these worm-like things. I misremember their names. These actually, in order for the bars to be open, you actually also need the worm-like thing to be dead. It's like the mini-boss of this. You could say mini-boss. It's like right in front of the boss key and you have to kill him with digging down, but we can't dig down, so... And you only the combination of flags actually open up the gate, the gates to the boss key. And one important thing to note there as well is, if you fail one of these, by the way, this is a very precise position, so you know the setup is for a very precise position, and I will explain it very soon. But again, the 2 flags actually very important. That if you fail one of these 2 and you actually enter the room of the boss key, you have to redo both. It's basically like the flames. The game gives you 1 chance at it, and if you don't have it, it will unset all the flags connected to it. Because it's like, nah, you don't have that, my friend. So it will unset all the flags connected to it. So if you have 1 try, you really want to have them. But these runners are good, so they know when they get them, when not, so they don't have to worry about that. So another Faron bit, right here. Again, same procedure. Save file 2 to get a loft ring. Select file 3 with opening a splash screen, so the sky loading zone exists, right there. And then calling the loft ring, and after the loft ring is mounted, selecting file 2. Perfect. And now we get this sky layer, that is the tutorial. Something that is probably good to mention, you can like get through the text while playing the loft ring tutorial, and actually get to use your boosts, because normally you can't boost at the start. And that is why he's flapping twice as well, so Zelda's going on with the next text. And another Faron bit. So this time I set the position was important. So the only times we needed important precision was when doing a big warp, because that. So why would we need it like out of back in time? So there's actually a thing that is called reverse big warp. And reverse big warp. Hello, new people, by the way. We're right at a scary moment back in time. Let's see if you get the right position for this one. So he's right now performing a very interesting trick where he's playing on a title screen, where we know it from other games. And he can actually do a bunch of shit. And right now he is going to skip basically, if this works out, if the position was correct, where he's saved, he can actually skip basically the whole dungeon, like half of the dungeon he's now. So how this is gonna work? He saved his position, so his coordinates are saved at a certain position. And he's going to start the file and then enter the Ancient Sister, which is a dungeon. And at that moment, it will actually, if he starts at the correct time, it will actually take the coordinates from the place he saved at and apply it to the dungeon. So he will spawn in a completely in the spot that he saved at, but in Ancient System, which is a completely different map. Right there, he updated. He got the rupee, got the water scale, with updating his file. So now he can use the water scale to get up there because there is no other way. Yeah, Fi is singing. Kitcot having some problems. Okay, so right now he has to start at the right time, and if his position is correct, he will clip into the basement. And that is perfect right there. You can see how close it is. He's a fairy, so he's fine. And you see some brake sliding. Floha seems to not get the cutscene skip, but now you can see the nice Fi singing right there. Yeah, he got the Ancient System bit warp, that's good. So right there you can see, get directly the boss key. So the first thing in this dungeon we get is the boss key, because of this reverse bit warp, which is pretty cool, I would say. And this way the statue will move, so normally this statue shouldn't move. But this allows us to like break the dungeon a little bit, because everything is messed up now. And for example, normally the lowest place is a mini-boss, but you will see that there is no mini-boss, and if Kitcot was looking upwards, then you would see, nice door by the way, he would see a nice Stalfos falling down, but he doesn't look, he doesn't have the time, he has to be fast. There's actually a Stalfos falling down from the sky right there. Right there he does a high flip, which is the first frame after a side hop, you get a higher backflip. That way you can skip the whole side section right there and go right to this rope. Foul foes, okay. So yeah, so you can get right back to the main area, but as I said, the statue is now in the wrong position, which lets him skip the mini boss in this dungeon. I mean, I laughed, yeah. Not the worst joke I've ever had, but sadly there are no cat tones in this run, so there's no joke time, because we'll skip all of that nonsense. Oh yeah. He is going to get the key. The reason why he needs the key is so he moved the statue one down. So normally the second door is a key door, which is normally the one you can access the first. But since we pushed down the statue, the key door is actually in front of the whip chest. So you actually need to get the whip with the small key, otherwise you can't open the door. So yeah, that's the problem we're at right now. So that's why he's going right there and getting the key. And then he's finished basically, so as I said, skipping a good amount. Oh, going totally safe, cutting the spiders. That's not needed, but they're very annoying sometimes. Cutting both. There you go. Actually, the only things you can cut the rope with O and Beetle, which is kind of interesting. All the other things, although it should work, it doesn't. There's some instance in this game where the game just doesn't allow any other items. Which, for some reason, but yeah, the beetle and the bow work to cut the rope. Right there, the small key, and we can finish the dungeon off after getting the whip, directly going to the boss. So luckily he got that, and after he's finishing Ancient System with all the setup he did on Fire Sanctuary before, so with the flag manipulation he did there, he can directly enter the last part of Fire Sanctuary without doing anything in Fire Sanctuary, because he can access the overworld bird statue at the end, and he can get can just basically finish both very quick after another. So basically, like, enter Fire Sanctuary, enter Ancient System, finish Ancient System, finish Fire Sanctuary. A very interesting route, but it's the fastest. So yeah, we're also going to see the water dragon after doing this. I've never seen before. and which apparently healed by herself, which is nice. So she didn't need our help in the end. And there's actually an invisible waterfall you can hear is leaving because we never dispelled the waterfall. We're just on a layer that doesn't show the waterfall, but it's actually there. The sound is there. So Floha finishing up with the Faron trial, not dying at least. So yeah, Kitcot is definitely ahead at the moment, but his battery is pretty low, so who knows what's going to happen. Maybe his battery goes out and Floha can catch back up. Because the ancient resistance reverse bit was basically the hardest bit, I would say, for most players. If you fail that, it just costs so much time. That's not funny. But there's technically one big Faron bit soon after Fire Sanctuary, so again, something you can lose a lot of time on it. But I don't think he will. Oh boy. Luckily he has enough health, but now he should not use bombs on Collectors, I was about to say. He could use bombs and use the slingshot, but very hard. Very hard. So what we're talking about, bomb spreads. Yeah, if he doesn't save, he is fucked, because he actually will respawn at Fire Sanctuary, because it's the last place he saved at. So if he doesn't save and does the bomb strat or getting hit once, he actually has to, yeah, redo like almost all of Ancient Sister, like getting up all the way. Probably getting annoyed by the mini boss as well. So you don't want that. Where is Floha going right now? Okay, he just jumped off the. Oh, he needs to copy. He forgot to copy. I was a little bit confused why he's jumping off. I mean, I know Link is suicidal, but that was kind of weird. Yeah, so did he save? I don't think he saved. But yeah, let's hope. Yes. Okay. So he's getting rid of his bombs. That is also a way to do it, I guess. Okay, so he's not going for the slingshot strat, which is probably a good idea. So this will take longer though. Then. So normally we can skip this phase by placing 2 bombs and damaging with both bombs, and then he directly go into his second phase. But this doesn't work, so he has to do this phase too. But the problem is with the second time you do it, he starts to throw his stuff more, and he's also faster. Again, don't get hit. That would be bad. Yeah, so yeah, if something like that happens, like the game is just a little bit mean. Okay, so now second phase. So second phase, you'll get a sword from him and cut his yeah, basically he cut him to the ground, and yeah, but there was like something we saw very recently where Bailey was cutting his legs because for some reason he just didn't want it to happen. So let's hope that doesn't happen, because that could be a bad one. And also, we won't use this. We'll use this sword to cut open. The game actually also thinks we would use it to attack, but we don't. The benefit is that we can just easily kill him, because as I said, in hero mode, the Skyward Strike is way powerful than in normal mode, which ends up doing this crazy amount of damage to Galactus, because the sword is way weaker than the Skyward Strike at full power. And this just 2 shots Galactus. At least his second phase, which is really nice. So yeah, there you go. And again, this is also important that you don't hit him with the sword, only with the strike. Otherwise, you don't do the amount of damage, and Coloctus will just keep fighting you, which is bad. Okay, so we got this one covered, so that's good. No big fail. And on to Fire Sentry. Fire Sentry is next. Yeah, so, oh wow. That was interesting. You just, wait, can you cutscene skip that? Wait, there might be something where we might be onto something. I think I think there's actually like a frame you can jump on apparently. Probably if you press C, properly gain control directly after the dungeon, you can probably side up. It's probably interesting. Something we should maybe look into it. That looked very interesting. So right there you saw the water dragon doing his stuff. So I guess some good players maybe. Yeah, maybe you can actually skip that. I mean, probably something that is not. It's just basically probably only. I mean, it's probably saving some time. Don't get me wrong. Not the biggest time save though, but every time save is time save, right? You can need that if you want to get closer to sub 2 1 point. Yeah, you need to be good at mashing and stuff, so probably something that like Kitcot, SVA, or Gymnast probably try out and figure out, or Manic maybe. Probably something we should investigate, I think, though. If we can get it to work, that should be interesting. I mean, it doesn't cost any time to try it, so might as well, right? If it really works. So right here you can see what our bird did. So we got the overworld bird statue we can just fly to, which is nice. He's now performing the last RBM in Fire Sanctuary, and the second to last in the whole game. Because this game is almost over. You might question how that can be possible, because we only finished Fire Sanctuary and you have like a whole quest on us where we have to get to every other area in the game, but yeah, so luckily we can skip all of that, and we'll do that when the time comes. Actually, I guess they're like a little bit more, like I guess it seems like RBM. Oh, Floha like dodging all the watchers right there with pretty, unlucky, pretty impressive dodging right there of the watchers. It was funny. So this ferry is mainly needed for safety, but very hard to do it without, and it doesn't cost any time, almost no time. So yeah, that's what runner will always do, because if you die, this is for Horde. If you die in Horde, you basically lost. Like if you have like PB pace or like world record pace and you die in Horde, it's over, totally over. And getting this ferry only costs you. Who cares? Hello. You got into the last one right there. He's finishing up Fire Sanctuary and actually just finishing the game right afterward, which normally isn't supposed to happen, but with some cool tricks it does. So now another nice fight, Girahim 2 coming up. He's mad that we skipped him the first time. So he's really mad. I mean, that should be the only reason. I don't know any other reason why he fight us. He's just mad that we skipped him once. So yeah, we'll show him how it's done. If he thinks he can beat us, but he can't. Yeah, so after after Fire Sanctuary, we'll end up doing another Faron bit. He just wanted a high five. Maybe that's true. Maybe he's just looking out for a high five, but we just spank him out of the way. But I mean, we have to, since he doesn't open the door for us. So, yeah. So after Fire Sanctuary, we'll do another Faron. So, like, do the back in time glitch, enter Faron, and we will this time RBM the raising of the Gate of Time. Since the Gate of Time is like a big and important story flag, you only can RBM it by doing actually the same thing in back in time. So yeah, we'll get to Faron, enter the area, enter the Sealed Temple, and get the Gate of Time risen. So the reason why we need the Gate of Time. So basically, all we do in this speedrun, like everything, is just to open the Gate of Time. Because if we can open the Gate of Time, we can finish the game. And to open the Gate of Time, we need to first raise it, obviously, and then we need to beat Imprisoned 2, sorry, to so we can open it. To get to Imprisoned 2 or to fight Imprisoned 2, we need to beat Fire Sanctuary. But sadly, because the game is bad, the game crashes if you don't do Ancient Cistern, because there's like a rail. There's like the rail for Gruz with his Gruzinator, who is helping us fight them. And if you skip Ancient Cistern, you don't get that rail, and you don't get a Gruzinator. And the game, for some reason, just cannot handle this, which is super stupid. And that is the reason why we have to beat Ancient Cistern at the moment, which is really stupid. But yeah, that's why we beat Ancient Cistern. That's why we beat Fire Sanctuary. And that is why we will now raise the Gate of Time, so we can open it. And then we can just finish the game with another RBM. Yeah, not the best Girahim, but still a good one. So Girahim RNG is basically like every time he does it's bad. Every time he doesn't do darts, it's good. It's like the best thing to say, I would say. Especially like vertical darts are very bad, because he will always jump back after you hit those darts, which is annoying. Okay. Another Faron bit coming up. So again, saving File 2. The game will now read the memory of File 2, which has the Loftwing. So we can now call the Loftwing. And with going off the splash screen, we will select File 3, which will get the loading zone around the sky. So now there's loading zone. We'll enter the loading zone, and then we'll select File 2 again, because File 2 actually has the only layer that doesn't crash in. Otherwise this would crash right here, which is good that it doesn't. It's the only layer. So we are in the nice Loftwing tutorial right now, and we'll fly to Eldon, and because it's the first time File 2 entered a pillar the whole game, you will get directed to Faron, because the first time cutscene plays. And it's this cutscene where this cutscene plays, and that will always put you. So Floha seems to finish up Alden trial, and he now can also go to Fire Sanctuary. Let's see if he does Lumpy Pumpkin Dive first, or if he does the Sheikah Stone RBM. Okay, so Kitcot right now is going to enter the Sealed ground, into the Sealed Temple, and so he saved File 3, and File 3 is okay. That was scary. That camera could have crashed, but it didn't. That's good. So luckily he didn't press Z. That was very scary, but I guess it worked out. Okay, so this is complicated, so I'll try to explain it. So File 3 is actually right after talking to Gruz, which gives you the right layer to get the Ballad of the Goddess. And there's actually a flag that is set after you played the hub tutorial, and if you have that flag set, you can just move into the circle and get. And with that, we can do what we did right there and get the Ballad in the Goddess back in time, start our file, and then we'll have a raised gate of time because we basically reverse bit warp into it. So right now we're just gonna keep going. Another very complicated one, another Faron back in time. Just give it all. So this time, this is gonna be Song of the Hero skip. Actually at a time where it's reasonable. So you will actually see the effect right away. So, Song of the Hero skip. Yeah, that's a complicated one. So I have to explain another thing I didn't explain so far. Yeah, good luck for Floha, because he seems to go for the Lumping Pumpkin dive first, which is the best idea. So this time we're going to steal a value. So this statue right there, this Upper Academy statue, has a value we really need. We don't have it on any other file, but we really need it. So we select it with file 1, the statue, and then again save file 2 in order to go to Faron back in time. So if we don't update our file 1 flags, the game will keep the last one it has. Basically it's like, okay, I got the Upper Academy on file 1 right now. So every time he selects file 1, he also gets the Upper Academy statue. But if he updates any flag, so if he, for example, in Faron, if he's bonking a tree that drops a rupee in Faron with file 1 selected, he will lose this. So he has to be careful, because we also need to save there. We also need to save file 1. So he has to be careful to not check the statue with file 1, otherwise he will lose the Upper Academy flag. And the workaround is obviously selecting with another file. Yeah. So that's the workaround to not lose the flag. So yeah, that's what he's gonna do. Well, he's gonna save right there because the temple is right now on the wrong layer, so we need to read it anyway. Saving outside is best. Actually, I just realized something. I think we're actually doing something slower. Actually don't need to save and quit anymore because we don't have. I will mention this later in the Discord. I just realized. So, yeah. We are going to. So, this right here. Well, select file 2 with the Upper Academy flag. Started. Skip the cutscene. And the Upper Academy flag opens the Lake Floria gates. Opening the Lake Floria gates gives you the flag that skips the Song of the Hero. Because for some reason, the game thought it was a good idea to just don't protect the door at all. So if it's just protected from a steam flag. Like every other place is protected by a story flag. This place is only protected by a steam flag. And no layers. No layer is your issue at all. So yeah, good for us because this right there just skipped 17 minutes of time. So yeah, that was a big one. It didn't look big probably. This just skipped 70 minutes. So right now we're just gonna trigger the imprison normally. And yeah. Let's hope everything goes well. There is a hard trick coming up in prison fights. Because you can actually do with the last, you can like jump on his head, and if your last attack on the spike is a jump slash and Link is in the air, then the game can actually not play the cutscene that throws you down. It's basically the same thing that happens when you skip like
the rope, the bridge cutscene in Earth Temple, for example, where like Link is in the air, and a cutscene is supposed to start, but the cutscene can't start because Link is in the air. And that way you don't get thrown off, imprisoned, and that way you can just wail on him and just one cycle him basically. You can just stay on his head, but you need to hit this jump slash every time, every hit, except the last one, I guess. So let's see. It's now gonna jump up. Oh, unlucky. There he's probably going to see the Ruse cutscene. That's something you want to avoid. Hey, Pog! Floha got the lumpy pumpkin dive on the first try. Just don't start. Don't make Hugo a mistake and start your fire for some reason. Please don't. That was nice. See, the trick isn't hard. Trick isn't hard. Told you. So right now he just should not. Please don't start early. That would be pretty bad and pretty stupid. And that would make you better than Hugo because he actually did that on his race. And lost so much time from it. So now, and now jump slash, and the scene looks good. As you can see, he doesn't get thrown off and just recovered. Now Flo will start and get a crystal for the skip. And because he does the lumping pumpkin dive first, he actually can, after he committed with going into the outside. Don't die now. Well, it's not too bad. He will now save it over, and he is now completely safe. Whatever happens, he doesn't have to redo the lumpy pumpkin dive. So that's why you always should do it first. So he can basically fail whatever he wants. He just needs to reset, and he will have the lumpy pumpkin dive back because he's now saved over it. And Kitcot also having a nice out of bounds camera right there. Kitcot having a completely clean imprison too, except the first part, I would say. Well, he get water after the Sheikah Stone one because he does the lumpy pumpkin dive first. So that's why he didn't get water yet. And even if he didn't get water, it would be fine. He could just reset, get the water, and then do the pouring. Yeah. Isn't that nice? Playing the best way possible. Yeah. Okay. So Kitcot is basically finished. I mean, you won your race, right? So well, it happens. It happens. The best thing is to just always do lumpy pumpkin dive first, guys. If you learn one thing from this race, lumpy pumpkin dive first. Yeah, so it's gonna be the end then. Let's see if he got the Song of the Hero skip RBM. I am very, very certain he did. But we can now see if Flower now fails pouring the water, like Kitcot almost did. It doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. He could just pour it at the side to just show us how it doesn't matter because you can just reset and do it again. So that's nice. Honestly, I'm still surprised that Kitcot's one actually hit so close as he got pushed to the right. Okay, so let's get the True Master Sword and finish it up, right? So the only thing that can rescue Flo right now is if the battery goes out. And then I guess Flo has a good chance, maybe. Only if Kitcot doesn't have any extra batteries. So right there, this doesn't matter. He could completely fail this one. He doesn't need to play it safe because he can just reset and redo it. That is very good, very good. Let's see if Floha do see up into the cutscene. So right there, this is another cutscene where you can see up, and okay, he won't have it because he's out of stamina. But you can actually see up and save some time because this camera panning at the end of this cutscene would actually get skipped and you get control directly. Okay, so next up is Horde. So keep in mind we have a ferry, so as you can see, without a ferry this one is pretty scary because we have to take 2 hearts damage later for Horde skip. So let's what's RNG for Horde skip, I guess? The chat. So he'll get it. And in general, because if he dies right there, that's a big one. But he is a ferry, remember, so not too big of a deal. Right there, he will try to position himself good, and this way the Moblin will spawn on the edge on the left side, and he can use his shield, jump over it, and actually jump over the ceiling. That's sadly not the right position right there. Cool. I mean, Skyward Sword is a pretty cool game. And we're basically in the finish line. So, you see right now, Floha is doing the Fire Sanctuary RVMs. And yeah, you can see Kitcot is basically finishing the game. Luckily he's a ferry because otherwise he's, yeah. So this guy is very annoying. So the best thing is to throwing down. Oh yeah, he's a ferry, so he probably should have used the ferry instead before dying, because that's actually faster than dying like this. Okay, so he wants to kick him down, the blue moblin. This way he directly dies, but if he doesn't get this moblin, it's so annoying because it just keeps running away. You can't final blow him and shit. He's just so annoying. And if he's outside, you can just do nothing. Yeah, and he takes like thousands Skyward Strikes because at this time the Skyward Strike is not in stronger anymore, because it's normally in hard mode. Before this Skyward Strike would be always the power of the True Master Sword, but at this point in the game you have already the True Master Sword, so yeah, it's not that powerful anymore that it was before. Okay, a few more Stalfos, again with no shield, but that's fine as well. Shield doesn't really help you anyway, there's so many people attacking you. And yeah, that's the last part. He seems to be good on health. He'll probably get shot by an arrow, because they have aimbot most of the time. So the second row right there. Okay, he's fine. So he seems to be at good health. This should be covered. So Floha is also now finishing Fire Sanctuary, so he only needs to do one more RBM, and he will then do the Ancient System Reverse Bitboard, which again is a pretty hard one, at least a setup. Okay, Yurahim. Also something interesting I see when Kitcot, he's never jump slashing after the back. I actually don't know why, but normally without shield you're supposed to jump slash after you backflip, so you can like directly hit him again. I don't know if real saves that much time. But definitely gets a hit in. But yeah, it's gonna wail on him, and there's only gonna be one enemy left after this one. There's some cool non-shield strats right there. On the next phase. Some Skyward strikes. And Flo finished up his last RPM and is now gonna get the ferry and start the ancient system rebirth. This ferry again, he needs it for the reverse before because he takes 4 damage from falling. Nice Skyward stab, the only required use in the game for the Skyward stab to get him a good old gear rating right there. And again in his face. But he's not done yet. You wretched brat. And he's dead. Right there you see Floha doing the setup. Yeah, he definitely needs to redo that one. Always try to slash after the one. So you can see he's trying to like every side up he needs to slash afterwards. And he also needs to like get every backflip, no movement basically. Yeah, that could be working right there, let's hope it works. And Yamai's getting killed right there. Not sure if we get Kitcot from interview, but probably. So let's get this guy killed. So the first one you can't actually kill him. He actually always jumps out of the way. But the second time you hit him down, if you hit it, press it the first frame right there, you GG. GG. Probably I should have called that we do time earlier, but it was still good. It was perfectly timed, so that's good. Yeah, so he's dead. The mice is dead and is now cursing every other place, and now it will always be a Ganondorf. Okay, did you press continue already, Floa, or you? I think he's thinking about it at the moment. If you pressed continue already, pretty sure he didn't. So you need to press first continue and then reset. Okay, so it seems like he did. I mean, you could also just set good game to Floha for participating. He doesn't need to GG. It was one game this race, so you could argue he's GGing Floha for participating. Yeah, you can see the setup is very finicky. If you mess something up, won't work. Shoutouts to SVA for finding a setup. So the slashes, after the slash basically prevents movement. So if he gets the slash right away, Link will not move for sure. So this is actually, for newer players or for someone who has problems with that, yeah, you just basically stop. So you don't move. Because normally after a side hop or a backflip you do a step forward. But with the slash, you don't. So he does jump, slash, and so it doesn't move. Jump, slash, and doesn't. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, so GG on the win.
Yeah, it wasn't the best run I've ever done. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, by my standards, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
There were like a couple bad points. Like Skyview was dreadful.
Yeah.
And kind of yeah, kind of bad points all over. But I mean, not all bad. Like the bits that were solid were quite solid, but you know.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
it's like the big thing I would say. Like you lost so much time in some areas, but you still got pretty good time, which just shows that you pretty much got it down the rest of it if you don't do big mistakes.
Yeah.
Because the only time loss you had was from big mistakes. The rest was perfectly played, I would say. Or like good played, good movement, good everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm still not sure if you could have maybe directly go to the beetle after the death.
I probably could have actually, yeah. If I
Yeah.
now think about it, I could just like save and quit and just reloaded it by that, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, didn't really cost that much time, but I just thought about it. I also
Yeah.
thought about it. You did like a front hop after you left Ancient Cistern.
Oh yeah, that was the
interesting.
thing. Yeah.
It's interesting. Maybe you can actually cutscene skip that one if you like try it.
I don't think you can cutscene skip that.
It's
Because
probably a big trigger for it, but it's worth a try.
yeah, I think if you go forwards, or I don't know if you can go backwards, but I think I've been able to go forwards and right with that, and neither of those seem to skip it. But I don't know.
Okay.
Someone might be able to figure out something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. I didn't know about that.
Hmm.
And I also actually realized another thing in this run. We actually don't need to save and quit anymore at the Song of the Hero thing. Because this was only once for like avoiding the fight text you normally get from like talking about the trial. That's why we
Oh yeah,
saved
yeah,
and quit
yeah.
and not saved. And since we do it so late in the run, we don't need to do that anymore.
Mm.
It's also
So
something.
wait, is this after the Gate of Time IBM?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Song of the Hero skip one with the.
I do believe that if after that, if you go right, definitely. Oh, if you go left, sorry, to the double doors. Oh, my battery's dying. Nice. If you go like left, if you go left to the double doors, I think the cutscene will play about Gruesome learning the Ballad of the Goddess, which is weird. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like still the trigger for it.
Yeah, I need new batteries
Because
for ESA because that's the thing. I cannot run ESA on dead batteries. Also, yeah, I think the internet was actually quite good, which I'm glad about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of panicking over that because if like you kind of have to have perfect internet if you want to like stream at ESA, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. I mean, I can talk a long time, so if something happens, I'll probably find something to talk about.
Yeah. More or less.
I'll just talk about how we can do this skip and how you know. So yeah, this is something I just realized when I saw that. Save and quit we don't need anymore. It's saves a little amount of time.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh no. It's Skyview and the Faron trial were kind of the two train wrecks.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Skyview I
Yeah.
just died to the southwest, which is annoying, and the Faron trial I died because I kind of got caught in a really stupid situation. It's like
Yeah, I was.
if you get caught there is little you can do.
Yeah,
It's really annoying.
why normally everyone like tries to avoid watch her as best as they can.
Yeah, but he was in like a really weird position, so
Yeah, he got you got like one step into him and he was activated, and that way
Pretty
you
much,
couldn't
yeah.
go the long way around,
Mm.
and he got you there, and then it's basically over because running up there to like the platform up there, you will always get hit.
Yeah, I don't think you can go left to the like the long way, even if.
Yeah, you maybe could have like run all the way around and get the first ones, but that's like not worth it at the point.
Yeah, I mean, even if I did that, I probably got killed anyway because there's a like a big sword watch person with like
Yeah.
right at one of the holes. So I don't know.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
would probably be a bad one.
yeah. Anyway, apart from that, I think my run was pretty okay.
Yeah.
Like again, no major issues, just kind of a bad time, or at least by my standards.
Yeah, two big mistakes I would say basically that cost you like well big mistakes, but like 2 minutes time loss is kind of big I would say. So I would say
Yeah,
probably.
I think that runs about like 9 minutes behind my PB, 9.5 minutes behind my PB. So
Yeah. So
yeah, again, not
still
great by my
I mean,
standards, but you know.
yeah, 9 minutes not that bad for like a race setting.
Yeah,
Definitely
I think
not
anything
that
just
bad.
sub 230 is good for a race, regardless of
Yeah.
your skill.
So let's see if Floha actually got the right position in. Let's hope. So again, he will do the same thing that Kitcot did. And again, there's something important that I didn't mention the first time. So there's actually like a cutscene. So you get like the lockdown, and there's like a scene afterwards. So you need to. That was. Please select. Thank you. So you need to have like a different file selected than file 1, otherwise the cutscene will stop. And file 3 actually, because file 3 is now the Faron file. So you actually have to do with file. You need the so he's not updating his item flags. That's why he can't swim. You need to bonk the pillar. Any of the two. Come on, bonk it. And then select get the rupee with file 1 or file 2. There you go. Now he has the water scale. And with that he can finish up the reverse speedball. Let's hope he gets it. And let's hope he gets it directly to jump and doesn't bonk. Here you go. And now he will wait for the music to fade and stop.
I actually just count that, like the agent is an RBM. I just count it.
I mean, that's possible as well. And perfect. There you go.
It kind of like just depends. Like if your counting is good enough, then you might as well do that. But if you need the music, then yeah.
Oh, I hope I'm not ahead. Guess not, because everyone is not doing it. Okay, good. So yeah, he got it. Yeah, I mean, counting is totally fine. It works the same way.
It's kind of like just how good your counting is. If it's really good, you might as well use that.
Yeah.
But if it's like...
Thing is, like with feeling, you kind of like can do it maybe without thinking about it, which could, would help sometimes if you like have to think about other things.
Yeah, I think it's like with my with the early pillars, I kind of used feeling for that because that's good enough and Mario use anything different.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that our brains can just perfectly measure things like that.
Yeah, muscle memory.
Yeah. It's like so incredible complicated, but the brain just easily gets it.
Yeah. It's neat.
Yeah. So now Flo is going for the high flip right there. Again, first frame after the side hop, you can do the high flip. So you can actually also get a high flip with an object. So if you place down an object, you can get a high flip off. But at that point, it's faster to use the side up method because we are at a wall anyway, so you don't get anywhere. Although we're having trouble finding the way. Okay, there we go. That's the right way, my friend. And right there, dropping a bomb. That's probably not faster if you do it like that, but yeah, though. Yeah, it saves a second or so, but yeah, because it kills like I think, or it throws off one of those zombies, I think, and that way you only get grappled twice. That way you can get there faster. So yeah, so Floha is also at the finish line right now. He finished. He's now He's going to finish Ancient Cistern, finish Fire Sanctuary, and then finish the game. Yeah. I'll think I post real quick. The save and quit thing, so I don't forget it later.
So he's Floha actually saves at Ancient Cistern.
What? If he saves or what? What?
Yeah, Floha saved at Ancient Cistern, which is understandable, but I don't do that.
Yeah. That was very scary from you not to do that.
Yeah.
Especially after like having only 2 hearts.
Yeah, I was kind of
throw your bomb away.
Yeah, I just threw them, and then what was going through my head was, oh wait, I might actually accidentally just side hop into it by accident. So I tried to go the direct opposite direction, which kind of worked, which is good.
So you now get the key. This lock is always the same, so you don't need to check what it is. You can just remember it, and he's gonna get the key and finish up.
I also got no gold splits in this, which was yeah.
I mean, you've been grinding a lot, so it doesn't.
Yeah, it does kind of make sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you always play this game and gold a lot of splits, at some point it will stop.
Yeah.
Especially in a race setting.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's still different from normal runs, I think. Even though, I mean, it's still a different element, I think. Even though
Yeah, I often do better in runs just because of like how much focused I am. Because like when I'm just like normally doing a stream, I'm often like kind of just not really focusing and kind of just looking at chat and just But with like races, way more focused, which I kind of like.
Well, you kind of type a lot of sometimes. But yeah, I understand.
Yeah. I mean, I do know that some people it's the other way around, where it's like runs are quite bad for them, and it's like it's kind of just different for everyone.
Like a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Yeah, so again we need the key for this, although you don't see the key. You actually need the key door for this. Get the whip. And you need the whip in order to finish Ancient Sister. Otherwise, so technically you can skip. You can do Ancient System without the whip. But you need bombs and bow. And getting bow means you need claw shots, and yeah, you know where this is going, so.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you actually need to do about 6 RBMs in order to do it, so.
Pretty sure my PB I jumped, like, after I got the whip, I accidentally jumped down to Stormmaster.
Nice.
And that was in my PB, so that was quite funny.
Yeah, but luckily you don't have to fight him.
Yeah, it's really weird because like my PB is a 2:15:49, which is quite a good run itself, but it had so many mistakes in it. Like Imprisoned 2 was bad, Ancient System was bad. I did the safe route, and I missed the. I basically did the same route as I did here, and I missed the cutscene skip. But I still got a 2:15, which is really funny.
Yeah, nice. I mean, a lot of the good times come from good stamina management. A lot of places, so it's understandable that sometimes missing a trick jump doesn't actually cost you all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Floha still has 4 hearts, so he can actually do the bomb strat, so we'll get to see that as well, hopefully. And I think I'll be away for a second. You want to take over Kitcot? That would be nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna take over. It's fine. Okay. So, Floha's just entering Galactose. I don't really have much to say. It's like just, yeah. Also, yes, Clock Champ. Okay, yeah, it does kind of look like Flo is having a little bit of trouble with the first phase. Don't know if he whipped his chest or not. Okay, he did. Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, he definitely had a better first phase than me because I had 2 hearts and I couldn't do a really good one. So that's phase 1. Ooh, okay, he did just hit, okay, nice. He did just hit the, Coloctos with the normal strike before the 2 Skyward strikes. That was fine, but I think in the past when I've done something like that, like, it's been a bit weird. Except I've probably done it in, like, Skyward strike and then just a single hit, so I guess it doesn't really matter too much if your first hit is normal slash, as long as you get those 2 Skyward strikes in. I'd say that was a pretty good Coloctos fight.
I am back.
Nice. Yeah, he yep, I can speak. Floha just had I think okay Coloctos fight. It wasn't perfect, but it was quite good.
Nice. So now he's just going for a Fire Sanctuary and finishing up. So again, he did all the setup as well. He will probably also do another back in time at the Overworld Bird statue to set the last flag we didn't set yet. And yeah, again, the water dragon we have never met and apparently healed herself.
Yep.
And if you listen closely, you can probably hear the waterfall in the background.
Yeah, what waterfall?
Yeah, the invisible one.
Exactly, yeah. One you could just walk right past.
It's actually funny if you would exit after the reverse bit warp. You would just constantly run into a wall. Like there's like the movement out of the ancient cistern, but you actually run into the barrier of the waterfall because there the waterfall actually still exists.
Yep. Also, Pepper, I just want to make sure that you're good with commentating ESA together.
Yeah, sure. One month's exact time, so I'm 100%
It's
sure.
scheduled, I think Tuesday, 8:30 AM UTC. I'll just check. Hopefully that's not too bad of a time.
No, that sounds doable. It's a pretty nice event that I'll definitely gonna, if I need to, get less sleep, I guess. So it will be fine.
Yeah, 8:30 AM Skyward Sword. Yeah.
No, that's totally fine. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I told the organizers that you're down for it anyway, so you're doing it whether you like it or not. Same thing for Flower.
Yeah. So now he's doing the last RBM, that's why he's saving right there and dying in the lava. Again, dying in lava is the fastest way to die.
Also, I just want to mention that for me, like my practice run was better than my actual run, which usually it goes the other way around. But anyway, like I think like my practice run was like 1 minute faster. I think it was a 2:24. This is a 2:25, which is a bit meh, but whatever.
Well, Not that big of a difference.
Nah, it's not that bad. I often try to do practice runs so I can get all my mistakes out of the way with, but... And, yeah. Didn't exactly work this time, but it doesn't always work. It's not foolproof. Although my PB was a tournament practice run, which was funny. It's like, because you hear me at the start, oh, I'm just here to get my mistakes out of the way with, it's fine if I fail, and it's my PB, which is funny. Floha going for rip strats.
Yeah. Totally worth it.
Yep. I think there was, I say there was a time, this was like not too long ago when I just wouldn't pick up that fairy. I would like hit the balls and I'll just run the other way.
Nice.
And I'd attempt to do like hordes pretty much damageless, and
That's pretty scary.
yeah, I lost a PB to that, which was dumb.
Yeah. It really doesn't cost that much time, that's not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if you
I know
really
now, yeah.
need
I mean, I'll not collect it in the ESA together run because it's like, just make it. It's like the same reason why I do blindfolded demise, just kind of because yeah, it's a thing. But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, in general, I would say you should always pick it up
Yeah.
as long as you don't really need those seconds. I mean, if you're like, you could PB by a few seconds to not pick it up, then I would do it. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
always go for it because it's
Yeah,
just too
unless
scary.
your like PB is like a 208 and you're
Yeah,
just
true,
trying to
if you're,
optimize
like,
every
already-
second, then you'd probably not go for it. But yeah.
You always have to do it then, basically.
Yeah.
Always extending blow, man. That's would be rough. So, see his Girahim if he's nice or not with his starts.
Yeah,
So,
I think I had like a okay-ish fight with him. It was like the first part from him for me was at least somewhat decent, but then it was kind of a bit like dark crazy, which is a bit annoying, but whatever.
doing some darts, that's bad. Darts are always bad. Yeah, those ones you can't dodge. Okay, that's gonna be scary, Floa. Don't die. Be bad. Half the heart is pretty scary. Oh, darts again, please hit them. Thank you.
He's got a fairy though, hasn't he?
Yeah, true, he's a fairy.
Yeah. Another thing with going fairyless is that this fight is significantly more scary because if you get hit
Yeah.
once, you're dead. I mean, it's not that much of a penalty. It's just that it's a little bit more scary.
Oh, it does cost time. I mean, a PB is probably lost by losing here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's enough time to where it's not possible to PB anymore. Okay, I think Floa's... Okay, got it. There you go. So now, only imprisoned and horde. Basically, the end game is left. Only end game is left. Let's see if he can get the cutscene skips and stay on Prison's back. And he also needs to get all of the Faron bits. It's interesting that they're like cramped at the end now. And Song of the Hero skip actually is the thing you do last. Not the thing you do like somewhere in the middle.
I just realized there's like only 3 people left in the winners bracket.
Yeah.
It's me, wait, who is that actually? Me, Fio, and Lepalog. Everyone else is either in the losers bracket or eliminated, which is pretty weird to think about.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit complicated, the whole setup. Some runners had some problems. This one was also a little bit delayed. Finally, we got to it. And
What
what will be the next ones, next races?
it'll be me versus Fio and Floha258 versus Indie Kenobi.
That's gonna be interesting. You versus Fire is actually gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Because Fire actually always goes for the cutscene skip, so
Yeah, he's like goes for a similar route to me, which is
Yeah. so there's gonna be definitely possible time save over each other if one of you both get the cutscene skip.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a good 30 seconds probably.
Mm.
Somewhere around that.
Yeah. Well, it'll definitely be more interesting than this run. No offense to Floha.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And Floor will then go to loser bracket, and which will be his W, or is he still in it, right? Still get
You-
back.
Yeah.
Floor.
Floha can get to the finals if he wins the match against Indie Kenobi, the match against Shimera, that person, the match against either Fio or Dish, and the match against either me or Lepilog.
I see.
And then Floha will make it to the finals.
There you go, Flo.
Yeah.
All possible.
Just win 4 games, then you're good.
It's always a good advice.
Yep. Like, if you're gonna lose, just don't. Losing rates drop to 0%.
That's true. So now he's going for the Ballad of the Goddess. Obium?
I think Floha's doing the same route to me, right?
Yeah, he did the same one. The newest.
Okay, yeah.
So I was actually a little bit scared when the camera changed when you opened the door. Because camera change sometimes can crash back in time.
Oh, yeah.
But luckily it didn't.
I don't really think it's the camera change. I think it's just the you have to hold Z, and if you don't, then it crashes.
Yeah. But like
I-
camera change is mostly because you don't hold Z, so
Okay, yeah.
that's
That
why
makes
I was thinking. So right here, file 3 again has the door opened. That's why we save over, because this can actually enter this, which is very useful. This way we can get the ball of the border. So file 2 again has the flags for it, so he just needs to move into with file 2.
I'm assuming this is an unchecked fail because that happens.
There you go, get the ball of the goddess, and now you can do a speed warp into that cut. There he is at the circle. So now he's at the wrong layer, so he can actually not trigger in person 2. And that's why the Song of the Hero skip is convenient right now. So this way we can actually do this like basically we need to get out of the temple anyway, so why not do the RBM where we can save in the middle, so we can get a little bit of ground and save a little bit of time. And that's why we save at behind the temple. And another good thing is that since we never entered the outside area has like a temp flag for the text. So there's like always see like the text when you open the map, or like when you enter the area in general at the upper left, and that text actually is a temp flag that decides what text you see. And since we have never entered, we directly entered the sealed temple with the reverse bit warp, we only got the text for that place. So if we then save at behind the temple, that temp flag actually directly commits the Song of the Hero skip, so we don't have to commit it anymore. I mean, it isn't a problem in this current route, but in the earlier route it was pretty useful because we tend to like fly out right after Song of the Hero skip. But at in this route it's not that important anymore. We do a bunch of other things anyway. So, but it's still nonetheless a pretty interesting detail, I think. Use that area temp flag that shows the text to commit something. So yeah, this is basically the last. This is the last. So this is the Song of the Heroes that we've talked a lot about now. Skipping basically everything about the second part of the game. A lot of time saved. Luckily, we can access this flag in this way. It's not guaranteed we can. Although at the moment we really have a lot of, we have access to almost every flag in the game. So at this point, if we really need to, we would probably can do something. But the best thing, obviously, is that it is on Skyloft, because there you can get it without any problem. In the fastest way, and we want to be fast. But yeah, it's fine that it's right there. It's not that deep into. It's not as bad as the Skyward entering cutscene, which some route categories have to do. Right there, file 2 has the log. That's actually Fledge. Talking to Fledge at the start of the game. It's like that flag right there. You can see he selected file 2 and the log fell down. That was because he talked to Fledge earlier. If he didn't, he would have some problems right there.
I actually didn't know that was a thing. Like I didn't. Like I knew I knew they had to talk to Flex, but I didn't know like why.
Yeah. It's that log to the behind your temple.
Cool.
Yeah. And in the other route you did because the Skyview file also has the flag. But since in this route we copy over the Skyview file, we actually need talking to Fledge again. So right there you can also see that because file 2 doesn't have the thing open. Oh boy, I think he just messed up. He selected the statue with file 2, which normally should update his flags. Right there you can see he needs to open because file 3 and not he needs to open. Just open the file 3 and you're fine. So file 3 and file 1 have the story flag for the gates to be open, but file 2 not. And he last selected open title screen. Only file 3 and 1 works because they actually open the gate. Yeah, see, he needs to just move out the splash screen, and it should be fine. It shouldn't make any difference with the flag. So, if he gets it with the flags, he has it now anyway, so... yeah. Definitely a difficult one sometimes. Like, it's just complicated, I say, not difficult, but complicated. If you need to get the hang of it. Yeah, I also doubt that it worked. Yeah, that didn't work. Pretty sure it didn't work, but it'll be fine.
I'm pretty sure it didn't work because he
Yeah.
he selected the statue with a file and not the title select the file select screen, which I think defaults to file 3. That's what I think. I don't know.
He definitely doesn't. He can't select the statue with file 1. Basically, that's the important point.
I think it would be fine if he would select it with file 2 or select it with file 3, but selecting it with the title screen is the easiest because you can directly change your files and stuff. It's like the fastest way. But if we want, like, it's fine to select it with a different file. Just don't select it with file 1. Because checking a statue, I'm pretty sure it doesn't say selecting it with file 1. That would be weird. Probably says, doesn't the route say something like select it with the title screen or something? Definitely shouldn't say that. Let me double
Well, then all I do is I just like select it with the file select screen, which is often file 3.
Yeah. So let's see. Is he just saying? Yeah, check statue with file 3. Sure. Yeah. That's what it says. Oh well.
Yep.
Which makes way more sense. You can probably, you can like change file 3 for file 2, but in that case, it's just easier with file 3. You can, for instance, go from the title screen, or you can stay on the file screen and don't select any files and shit, so file 3 is the most convenient one in that case. Because menuing is also a big part of Skyward Sword, actually. Playing and menuing at the same time is actually pretty hard. Hey! Wow, another raid! Coming in for the end of the run. So, basically finishing
nice,
up right now. So, you're actually coming perfectly for the biggest skip in the whole game. So, this skip alone saves 70 minutes. So, yeah, a big one.
Yeah.
The reason why we could cut the time in half is mainly to this one.
It says like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it's insane. So, yes, he's still on the title screen. He's a little bit behind, I guess.
just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So the title screen thing is probably people know back in time in other games, and in this game you can actually go onto the file select screen, which allows crazy stuff. So this one will set a flag, which will just open the last door in the game, and then we can just open the game at the door and finish the game. So normally you're supposed to like do the whole quest of getting the Song of the Hero and show that you're truly the hero and get the Triforce and stuff, but like, who needs the Triforce anyways? So we'll just set a byte and suddenly we can enter the last. Let's hope he does everything correct, because this is a little bit complicated. It's important that he doesn't select a statue with file 1.
Okay, so to with file 3, good. Then save and quit with file 1.
Seems good. This seems good.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, I think he knows what to do now. He's good. I'll be surprised if it didn't work.
Fine now. So yeah, this one is a little bit complicated. Again, it's a big one. So yeah. So basically, what we want to see is after he enters Faron right there, he's going to skip the cutscene and start file 1 and skip the cutscene. And if you see Link going into like a focus mode, or like whatever you would call it, a target mode, then it worked out. So he'll start, skip, and there you go. That worked. That worked. Perfect.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah.
Now he just needs to open the gate of time.
Doesn't he need to commit it first?
Yeah, well, it will commit anyways. I mean, he doesn't leave sealed ground, so he's fine.
I mean, okay. I mean, I always like commit it with the rupee thing, but I don't think that's necessary anyway. I'll just do it now. It's like one of those weird quirks I do on my run. Just weird things for no reason.
Because right now, right there, if he just charges the Skyward Strike, he will commit it, basically. So, he's fine. That's good. Yeah, so he only needs to find the imprisoned 2, which is basically everything in this category, we work towards is opening this gate of time right there in front of it. So what we need to do in order to do that is we need to raise it, which we can do after we get the heart, which we can get quite easily in Lineru with a big skip. Then we need to beat Fire Sanctuary to be able to trigger Imprison 2. And then because this game is a little bit stupid, we actually also have to beat Ancient Cistern. Because otherwise, Gruus crashes us. Because Gruus want to have his Gruusinator, and if you don't beat Ancient Cistern, he doesn't get his Gruusinator, and then he's mad, and he just doesn't allow us to enter the Sealed Grounds.
Yeah, so he breaks the game, basically.
Yeah, he's just mean.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that actually emulators can actually have no trouble with that, so emulators actually doesn't crash, but
Yeah.
console
like
does crash, and yeah.
Like they're banned in runs, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, but that's fine. Ancient Cistern is a cool dungeon anyway, so
Yeah.
not a big of a deal.
I mean, if we could skip Earth Temple, then that would be amazing, but
that would be
yeah.
amazing, yeah. But that would need the ability to open the Elden Trial on layer 1, or
Yeah.
a cool jump into the Volcano Sun, something like that.
Yeah. I'll be honest, the only way how I see this category improving, like glitch wise, is if we find a way to like manipulate what layer we're on manually.
That would be huge.
Yeah, if we could do that, this game would be really huge. But yeah,
basically like whatever you want.
Yeah, but like I mean, I'm not gonna say it's impossible because I don't know that, but I'm just gonna say it's unlikely that's gonna happen. But again, I don't know. I'm not.
I think early Volcano Summit could actually. At one time, we will find. One day, we'll find finally some movement tech where we can actually like do a further jump or something.
Yeah.
And then we can actually jump into the Volcano loading zone. That's how I see it. I don't think we can clip in there, but I think we can, with like some extended jump, we could enter that, and that's like half an hour save right there. So
yeah,
that would probably be like the closest thing that will happen in this category. But like it's insane. Like the controls on this game are like so different from other games, right? For some reason, this game was able to avoid all the movement glitches. Like brake sliding is the only thing we can do.
Yeah, and even that's like most of the time. That's
which is really impressive, I would say. In general,
I mean, most of the time in brake sliding is like that's really mostly task movement. I mean, it does have some RTA implications in some places, like the purple sand in Ancient Cistern. I think at one point before the Scaldera fight, but it's most of the time it's like something that tasks will use.
Yeah. It's just very interesting that like the game is it's also the collision is so well done. Like it's very interesting if you like look at Breath of the Wild, where like you can clip everywhere with all the like a lot of things. It's not possible in Skyward Sword. There's like not a single clip.
Skyward Sword really just want you to play the game normally.
Yeah. Man, we found a way though. We found a good way with our workaround. A very unique and special trick to the Zelda series, which I think is very cool.
Yeah.
To have like your own trick that is completely different from what other people do.
Yeah. It's really confusing though.
Yeah. It's I mean it's memory manipulation on a really cool level. Very not completely broken one. Also what I think it's very interesting that since Back in Time takes like time to set up, you know, you're only gonna skip everything that's like, bigger time lost, you know. So if you have like, for example, if you take like SRM, you know, since SRM is super fast to set up. By the way, good job on Imp. So if you take SRM, since it's super fast to set up and you can get all the stuff fast, it's totally worth to get everything basically. Like even the time where you still had to open chests, it was worth it. In 100% even. So, but in Skyward Sword, it's like this trick takes a lot of time because you always have to die in order to get one flag changed, you know?
Yeah.
So it will always be like not completely broken, but still broken enough where it
Yeah.
saves a bunch of time. So
Yeah. I honestly just wish it was like easier for like new people to understand.
yeah, that's true.
Or at least, at the very least, it'll be easier for commentators to at least explain it, because at this point, you might as well just like get a degree in computer science to understand what this game is.
Definitely helps like look into that stuff. It's really hard to explain it to someone that like never took a look into memory in this game or something.
Yeah, just memory in
Because
general.
the thing is,
Yeah.
we manipulate so many different type of flags in so many different ways, yeah, and then we start to like try to get as many flags as we possibly can in one back, and just make it more complicated. Like for example, getting the Thunderhead and a Scene Flag RVN at the same time, you know. That's also kind of hard to explain. Yeah, he just now has the Thunderhead opened because queued up. Yeah, so.
Okay,
That's
so
still
regarding
interesting.
Floha doesn't die,
Yeah.
he should get PB.
Yeah.
At least that's what he says.
Also, does he need a hard skip, or is he fine?
I think he's got like 13 minutes left to spare from now. So
Yeah. Okay.
I
Always
would say
prefer-
horde skip isn't necessary, but I mean,
definitely
it
to
would definitely
save.
help. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see if the Song of the Hero worked. So what this did is right there, behind there is a behind the Gate of Time. There is the door that leads to the Hylia's realm, like the sealed grounds in the past, basically. And right there, the end of the game plays. Normally, you're supposed to only get there after the Triforce, after we get the Triforce. But for some reason, this is one of the few instances where the game didn't try to protect it with layers and stuff, which it totally could have done. But I mean, I'm pretty glad it didn't, because like there you can see the glitched cutscene, by the way, because we don't have Faded Skyview. So yeah, I mean the game could totally have protected with layer, because you actually get like a sealed temple layer after beating Sky Keep, so they could have just put that opening only possible on that layer. They didn't, and here we are saving almost
Okay, so
2 hours.
as far as I'm concerned, Floha has 2 fairies, and
Yeah, he's going
yeah.
completely safe in this one, which
Yeah.
I completely understand, because it
So-
can be pretty tough sometimes.
So quick maths, I think that equals out to about 19 hearts. No, yeah, 19 hearts in total.
So one interesting thing about the True Master Sword, True Master Sword is actually not stronger than the Master Sword. But what it can do is break the protection of those Recoblins. So if they block, you can actually completely destroy their block, which is normally not possible with the Master Sword. Which is actually really important for the Horde, because there's so many enemies in your face that if your sword gets blocked by one, the other can actually attack you and damage you. But if your sword gets through all of them, so right now, let's go. The Danji. Oh, that's oh, okay. Okay, just don't run up his shield, I guess.
Yeah.
Just run up
I think
first.
I did something somewhat similar, where it's like
Yeah.
I kind of
One was
yeah.
where when the guy is too much to the like the shield is too much face to the right, then you can't
Yeah.
get.
I know my mistake as well, and it's like I knew my mistake as soon as I did it. I was like, oh, great.
So Blue Goblin is nice.
Oh yeah, he's very cool. Yeah, just keep skull striking and then you're dead. But we'll see how Floha does it. at that.
I mean, I think he's pretty annoying because he tends to run away a lot.
Yeah.
If you want to get him.
Also, kind of at the start, you have to deal with all the other goblins around you and the
Yeah.
bombs and stuff. It's
There's
gonna be a
some
pain in the
suicide
ass, not gonna
guys.
lie.
Yeah, so right there are like so many people around. Yeah, oh, he's getting some damage right there.
It's fine because he got like 2
Yeah,
fairies.
hey, man, he got, but still. Oh, just charge in.
Hmm.
Charge in.
We're getting 1 or 2
Goblins
fairies.
coming for you. Wait, he actually got hit? No. Okay.
Just
think
skull
that's-
shake spin attacks. That's probably a very safe thing to do.
Yeah, you can see how they like break
Yeah.
their protection. That doesn't work with the monster sword.
Yeah, like skull strike spin attacks are just like the go-to strategy for damage the sword.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Still 10 hearts.
Pretty much, yeah. 4 plus 6. Yeah, quick maths.
Yeah. So probably assume you get hit by the archer. So and probably if he probably probably uses his last fairy and then he will finish up. So that's what I am betting on.
Yeah.
Because these guys can hit me really well. Especially if these stealth foes are next to each other and they have like bad defensive stances, then you can hit like one and the other blocking you directly. Which can be really annoying. Because those defense stance you can't break, even with the true master sword. Right there. If he gets 2 hearts, yeah. The right cool. Oh, he only has 1 fairy. Oh shit.
Wait, what happened to the
Yes.
other one? He had 2, didn't he? Or did he use?
That is bad.
Wait, what happened to the other one?
Control.
Seriously?
He only has 1 bottle. That's the problem.
Okay, that is true. Yeah.
Just yeah, I didn't think about that as well. That just occurred to
Yeah.
me. Obviously, only has 1. So the
I do know that
problem
they're
is
like. Yeah.
there is a cutscene if you leave past the first
Oh
time,
yeah.
and you didn't save before. This is probably the longest fucking cutscene in the game.
I agree. Yeah. No, on English it's even worse. Like you should have seen the
You don't want to watch
Indie
this
versus
cutscene.
Fire match, and that was like literally. I think Indie just went to get the fairy and watch this cutscene, and that's kind of what did it for him, and that's kind of why he's in the losers bracket.
Yeah,
That's kind of just how long this cutscene is. It can like
yeah.
change the course of races.
It's also very sad that if you actually want to like for 100%, you actually have to watch the cutscene. I mean, they could have just made the Zelda cutscene, you know, you see in the past, which also explains the things you have to do, you know, the important flag. But no, they wanted to make this extremely long cutscene the important flag. So yeah. Otherwise, we could have skipped this one. You could like in a 100% setting, you could skip this cutscene, but yeah.
Yeah.
We have to watch it. So at least in Japanese, it's not slowest in the world, and the fairy should be back here. So
Remember when any percent we had to watch it? I remember when any percent was like 5.5 hours long.
yeah,
Those were the good days. The good old
Yeah.
days when you had to just stay up all night just to run the game once.
yeah.
Woo.
First one I ever watched was Jim's sub 6 run.
Sub 6.
Yeah, sub 6.
Hmm.
Sub 6 hour. This was the first Skyward Sword run I ever watched.
I think my first sub 6 run was my first run on Japanese. No, like a 5:57. But now it's like just 2 and a bit hours. So yeah.
Yeah.
I do kind of miss the old runs, but it's really convenient because like now you can do races and stuff, and you don't have to just stay up all night just to run the game once.
I mean, you can do no RPM route.
Yeah,
Sounds fun.
yeah. Like I guess now The only reason why you'd do that is kind of like for a little like nostalgia trip,
Yeah.
because it's like because you wouldn't like put yourself through the pain of just doing 5.5 hour runs constantly, unless if you're like doing, yeah. I mean, there's like 100%, which is still like 7.5 hours or 7 hours, I think now. But yeah,
I mean sub 7.
but that's like 100%. It's not just like a random category.
Sounds definitely also very interesting. Sadly, this game really tries to bend you, so you always have to do whatever it wants to do.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. Always amazed sometimes how much protection there is for certain things. I'm still like, I still cannot get over that the Thunder Dragon actually can't appear until you meet Levias. Which
Yeah, that is a thing.
It's like kind of
yeah.
it's kind of stupid because you only enter this area after you meet Levias. Like there's never. Oh, that
was actually quite close. Not gonna
was
lie.
actually really close.
Yeah,
There's never gonna be a time.
Fell on the wrong side.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, and it's also really annoying when one of these guys just stays alive, because then you have to deal with them, and it's like, because you don't really have a shield, it's incredibly annoying. Actually, no, Floha has a shield, doesn't he, or did he break that?
He has a shield.
Okay.
But he didn't need it. So what I was talking about is that they're like the only way to get to the navel where the Thunder Dragon plays is after meeting Leviathan. There's no need in the world to make the actor connected to meeting Leviathan. There's no layer change, you know? They just decided to not put the skeleton there if you didn't meet Leviathan. It's just completely random. Like, there's no way you could ever enter there without like huge glitches, which we do at the moment, but there's no way to do that. And the sad thing about that is, if we could actually do that, we could probably like enter the... We could do like the refights early, which could be potentially pretty huge. Especially 100% would benefit from that, but also other categories. I'm not 100% sure, but there will probably be some flags, some story flags that will stay, you know, after you beat a boss. So maybe there's like potential, but sadly that's not the case because the game is stupid. So yeah. We end up at the moment we're at right now. So this was a good use of the ferry, by the way. Not dying. So like using it with the bottle is faster than dying and then getting the use out of it.
Okay, so yeah, he uses ferry, didn't he?
Yeah, he used his ferry.
Yeah.
This time it looks pretty good. Oh god. Oh no. Okay, he's at 3 hearts.
Three is fine.
This is fine. This is fine. No.
Oh god.
This is fine. Insert this is fine memes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh boy, no! Oh jeez, he's dead.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
He's dead. He should have just taken the shot and just...
Okay. Okay, so it looks like he's forfeited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sad. Well.
GG.
GG nonetheless. Seems like we have forfeit, so the restreamer. Then I don't know if you have anything for. Oh yeah, we have it actually already switched. I don't know if Floa wants to talk. If he doesn't, it's not a big deal. If he wants, he can come on. know if he wants to come on. Don't know if he even hears us. Yeah. He's dying to horses. That's bad. Didn't even know there are horses in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, so he seems to join in a minute. It's
Yeah.
pretty late on my side though. I don't know. Well, we'll just stick here for a minute. That's fine. Getting a little bit tired though.
Yeah. Like I gotta get like not quite early, but like early enough so I can do a practice run for the ESA. So it's like I want to do that kind of at the same time that I'll do my actual run. Just I don't know, it's just better.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm
There you
hoping that's not going to suffer because of sleep, but it should be fine.
Hello,
GG.
Hi.
GG.
That is not worth a GG. That was bad.
Well, it's kind of sad at the end that you like panicked a little bit. I think you could have gotten that the last one. You should have just taken the shot and played it safe. You get like hit by the
Yeah.
archer once, you don't get out of stamina.
Yeah, the thing was, I was like going out of stamina on the
Yeah.
I was going out of
As well.
stamina, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Just watch your
This-
demise. Which is funny because you never saw demise.
Yeah. Floha, are you good to commentate my ESA run on Tuesday? Just checking.
Yes. If you still want me on commentary, then
Yep.
I guess I will.
Cool.
Nice.
Good.
Well, I'm sorry I couldn't get to the mice. Apparently, Horde is too hard of a fight for me.
It is. Horde is dumb,
Soon.
especially damages. Don't do damage.
I
Horde unless
actually
you're
did
dumb.
it yesterday, like almost without a fairy. And now today Ada tries to it. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's.
Well, at least I got a decent lumpy pumpkin dive and where's the warp first try as well. After it took me a few times with the setup. Oh well.
That
Yeah.
remembers me of something. When Kitcot poured the water, I was so close of failing.
Oh God, yeah.
Get
Like
pushed to the right.
I
Like,
was.
like,
Like,
I was talking about like why doesn't he do the lumpy pumpkin dive first? That way he
Yeah.
don't has to redo it, you know?
Yeah, no, like I had a mini heart attack when I
Yeah,
I saw how
same.
close I was to failing. It was like, oh my God.
And that
Um,
is why you always do the lumpy pumpkin dive first.
Yeah, I should probably get
then-
in a habit of
because
that.
then you
there are a
only
couple things
have-
that I just. Yep, a couple things I just want to say. First of all, the next matches are there's in the winners bracket there's me versus Fio, and in the losers bracket there is Floha versus Indy Kenobi, both which should be scheduled soon-ish. And also, I might as well just plug my ESA run. On the ESA channel, I will be doing an 80% run of Skyward Sword Tuesday. I think it's scheduled at 8:30 a.m. UTC, so that is a thing. And yeah,
Yeah, and Flo, you still can improve and show a good run and still win this tournament. So
Yeah, sure,
lose your hopes.
totally.
yeah, no,
Next time?
just beat Indy, just beat like Chimera, just beat either Dish or Fire, then just beat Lepalog or me, depending on who's in the losers brackets, and then boom, you're in the finals. Simple,
Sure. Easy.
just easy peasy. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
It can only go up now.
Uh, I guess
Yes.
if you want to say it like that.
Yes.
I still get a finish. I still get a finish run with this route though.
Yeah, so I think we're finished.
Yeah, I'm done.
Closing thoughts. Otherwise, I
My
think
Skyview is horrible.
we'll
That's
take
I'm
it
gonna
over to the
say that again.
streamer.
In that case, we've finished the day. And thank you, Pepernicus, for commentating. And don't be so down, Floha. It can only get better.
Oh,
So the next matches for Skyward Sword have to be yet scheduled. And
Yep.
on Zelda Speedruns, we have tomorrow 2 matches of the Minish Cap Randomizer tournament, and on Tuesday the usual Zelda 2 weekly. And I'm pretty sure there will be other matches during the week as well. Maybe some on short notice. And with that, stay healthy and good night.
Nice.
Night.
right. See ya.
See ya.